to stand up strong, face the truth about themselves, to understand what went wrong. I know we can find a way. I know we can find a way. I know we can find a way to stand up, stand up, stand up.
Uniting the races with truth instead of dividing them with lies. We're also rebuilding the family by rebuilding the man. I'm Jesse Lee Peterson. Good morning. Welcome to the show. Hi, y'all. I hope you had an amazing weekend. What's all these books here for, you think? It looks so junky over there. You can get involved by calling 888-7753. Oh, I know what it was for. Yeah, I just remember. 888-77-JESSE. It's just a little junky after all. 888-77-JESSE. If you are out and about and you can't listen to the show live, you could definitely be doing what you're doing when you know you're doing what you're doing, and listen to the show on your iPhone, iPad, anywhere in the world by calling the listen line at 641-793-1500. That's 641-793-1500. And if you don't forget to donate to have your comments read out loud, go to buymeacoffee.com/JLP Talk, buymeacoffee.com/JLP Talk, and rebuildingtheman.com, rebuildingtheman.com, and do all the things you're supposed to do on social media, follow, like, and all that good stuff. Y'all know what to do. Again, I hope you had a good weekend. Christmas is near. I don't know how near is Christmas. Today is what? How far is it away, Hassan?
It's close.
It's close? I knew that. It's like 2 weeks away or something?
Yeah.
Something like that. Amazing. It's amazing to me how this year just gone by. And I believe it's happening because it's trying to hurry up and get the Great White Hope in office so that we can somewhat save the country before it is totally destroyed. I think that's what's happening. I might be wrong, but I'm thinking that's what's going on. You know. So my experts are here. And we had such, and I see your calls coming in there. And 14 days away before Christmas, I'm told. That's amazing. Merry Christmas. Merry Christmas, baby. You sure been good to me. When I was down and out, you took good care of me. Yesterday's meeting was amazing. It was amazing in so many ways. One is that there are people, a few, truly seeking the kingdom, truly seeking to overcome the fallen state, men and women, truly want to overcome. And it's amazing to see it, men and women. And so I wanted to talk to my experts this morning. It's Monday, it's Christmas morning, let's have some fun kind of a thing, about last week's biblical question, which was a doozy. A doozy. And we dealt with it somewhat yesterday in the fellowship. You can podcast the fellowship if you want to check out what's going on. So my experts are here. So I start. This is Sean, my producer. He was amazing producer, one of the best on this side of heaven. I don't know any other better. And then next to him is the Hake Report, the host of the HakeReport.com. And Hake was in a debate this past Saturday. I don't know if a lot of you knew about it or not. And so I got a chance to at least watch an hour of it. And it was amazing. Hake took it home. He brought it home, took it home, and kept it. Really good job, Hake.
Thank you.
Very good job. I was looking at you debate those. I don't know if it was a real debate, though. It almost seemed like an interview.
Right.
You're supposed to be debating the guy up top.
Right.
What was the name of the show?
Drunken Peasants.
Oh, no wonder. They were drunk.
I don't think that they were drunk.
Oh.
They didn't seem that drunk.
Well, why do you call them drunken peasants?
That's the name of their show,
Oh.
their channel.
Oh.
You've been on their channel before.
No, yeah, that's fine.
Yep.
That's fine. But good debate.
Thank you.
Did it seem like an interview at one point?
Yeah, it definitely did. And the guy said at the beginning, my way of debating, I'm just kind of asking questions because I want to know how people think.
But how do you debate someone
So
and they're not debate?
He said that it was not so much a debate as an interview.
It was promoted as you debating a liberal.
Right.
Oh, okay. But
And he is a liberal.
You did an amazing job, by the way.
Thank you.
Did you watch the show?
No, I didn't.
It was. I didn't watch the whole 8 hours of it, but
Yeah.
it was deep.
I'll have to check it
It was
out.
2 hours.
Two
It was
hours.
over 2 hours.
Yeah.
Was there any
Felt like 8.
specific topic?
No, really. It was kind of off the
Right.
cuff. He started off about Trump. Do I support Trump? What about Nikki Haley or Ron DeSantis? And then affirmative action and all that stuff.
Yeah, it was really interesting. One of the things that was very interesting about it, as I was watching it, I was reminded of how you were when I first met you. You're like beta, 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 beta. You're like beta, beta.
No, I wouldn't.
You were so beta, I would have you come up and do the Sunday meeting trying to get you to have some courage.
Right.
And then he's like, if you keep having me do the meeting, I'm going to come back. But that old person is gone.
Nice.
Amazing to see that. It's like children when they first born, they grow up and you don't see them growing up. You just look around one day and they grown. You're like, what the? Well, it's like that. And then to my far right is Joel Friday. He black. And Joel is the host of Joel Friday TV here every Tuesday at 11 a.m. Pacific time. Yeah, I don't see you in the camera. Now I see half you.
Oh, I have to go down even further.
Yeah. I thought it's not. Oh, I see half of you with Sean, and I see.
Oh,
the
yeah.
host.
Because I had to move that way to get in the center.
Oh, I got you. Okay.
I could move
I
back
thought
this
they
way.
adjusted this camera.
No.
Did
James,
you
go back to
kick
where
it
you were.
again?
And then
Did you kick the camera again, Joe?
And then Sean has to
you're
go
looking
that way.
at the wrong. You're looking at the wrong camera. Yeah.
Oh, Sean has to come
just
closer to
move
me.
That way. Yeah, that's all.
Gerald always create a
also my
problem around
shoulders,
here,
yeah.
and then when we try to figure out who did it, he stay quiet. Last time you kicked the camera, remember? And we trying to figure out how we adjust the camera.
Whatever.
And Joe had kicked the camera. But Joe Friday TV every Tuesday at 11 a.m. Pacific time. And one of the experts here, and next to Joel is Hassan. Amazing. Our experts here, the audience engineer. And then the anchor babe is coming in. Is the anchor babe coming in?
Yeah, I think he was grabbing calls out there, but I think he's coming in.
The host of
He's gonna have to sit on somebody's lap.
the American Anchor Baby Show. Amazing.
Okay, I got it.
Every Monday through Friday from Monday through Thursday at 12 noon. But then sometimes we don't know what time he's coming on. But
Monday through Thursday.
what?
No, Monday through Thursday, 12.
Monday through Thursday, 12 sometime.
Sometimes.
And then 4 p.m. sometime.
On Friday.
The American Anchor Baby. And we're not even sure about that all the time. But another
Plus or
expert
minus.
here. Plus or minus. So I wanted to talk to you guys about this past week, biblical question. What does it mean to go to God in fear and trembling? What does it mean to go to God in fear and trembling? And Hassan, we'll start with you this time since you were there yesterday. Amazing. What does it mean to go to God in fear and trembling?
Yeah, I think it just means like the way that we go to everything else in fear and trembling for a coping mechanism. We should go to God in that fear and trembling for the cure-all. Because when we're going to different things for coping mechanisms, we're going to them in fear and trembling. You know, so I think.
What do you mean by that?
Like when you're going through, like when you've said pain begets pain. When we're going through pain, we tend to go to other things to try to get like a little bit of relief from the pain. But the only way to cure it completely is to go through the pain and go to God with it. So I think that's what the fear and trembling is.
Okay, and you say during Friday TV? Have you ever gone to God in fear and trembling during Friday?
To be honest, I didn't even know what the I didn't even have an answer at the church. So when you were gonna ask me at church, I was gonna say I don't know because I couldn't come up with nothing. And of course, I was trying to intellectualize it for a second. I was trying to I need to have an answer to give him at church, but I didn't have one.
I'm surprised you didn't have one. You used to be a Bible thumper person.
Thumper.
So when you were a Bible thumper, how did you go to God in fear and trembling? He was like a real Bible thumper.
I didn't know that.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I just
He was such a Bible thumper. He thought we was.
That's how he got all those muscles.
He was such a Bible thumper. He thought we were sinners. When he first came. But anyway.
Yeah, I didn't know what that meant, so I didn't understand. But the way you laid it out,
Yours are a bit loud. Hassan not gonna read that.
I also can't
Somebody
tell because I
will.
don't have headphones. So I don't know if I'm talking too loud here.
Okay, go ahead.
Yeah, I've never heard of that scripture before. I never knew what that meant.
Even when you were a Bible thumper, you never
I
read
never seen that before.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh,
So
okay.
I was actually thinking of fear and trembling in a different way than you revealed it. I was thinking more of like respect to God, reverence, and consider Him in all things type of thing. But
I noticed that people that say they respect God and they go to God and what?
Yeah, respect and reverence.
They don't even respect God at all.
And
Not one iota.
and that's what I was gonna interpret it as. But then, for me, even that I didn't have like a solid answer. So I'm like, I'm not gonna say that because I'm gonna sound crazy. But that was what I was thinking. But then I came to the conclusion that I didn't know. But the way you laid it out, I don't know if you want me to say it yet. But should I wait to explain how you?
Yeah, we'll come back to it.
Okay.
Okay.
But yeah, it was deep.
Anchor Baby. Expert and the host of the American Anchor Baby, Monday through Thursday at 12 noon Pacific time, and Fridays at 4 p.m. Pacific time.
Sometimes.
And sometimes. We have to wait and see.
Hit the notification bell. Okay, go on.
So what does it mean to go to God in fear and trembling?
Yeah, before I heard your answer, I was stuck on the first part, go to God. I'm like, have I even gone to God? What is that? I couldn't even get to the second part. But I thought about it, and before hearing your answer, I thought about, okay, fear and trembling, when do I go to God in fear and trembling? That sounds like going to God and going in fear and trembling sounds like every single time I may have gone in this false fear and trembling. I talk about that time when I was younger, like way too drunk. The only time that I like called out to God in desperation, please take this away. I'll if you do this, I'll be.
Oh, yeah.
Other people.
I used to think that was fear and trembling.
Right.
Lord, help me through this situation. I'll do better.
So that's how it was.
And then he'll help me, and I did worse.
Exactly. And so those were the things I thought about for your biblical question.
And you say, Sean, to go to God in fear and trembling.
It's amazing how many people like try to make a deal with God.
Yeah,
you know, like
absolutely.
I'll never do this again if you do something for me.
Right. That's deep. A lot. Everybody does it, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And also during church yesterday, I was thinking about the lady who was talking about how much she's like trying, you know, and how many people say that too. Like I'm just trying so hard
Right.
to overcome. And often I think trying is the thing that gets people into binds in the first place. But I said it was to come as you are. So if you're feeling good and you know you just got a new job and all your bills are paid and everyone around you is happy, like it feels good and it's easy to pray in those times. But in other times when you're feeling like weak and not as confident in yourself, it's not as easy. So I said that it meant to go in those times just as much as when you're feeling good.
Amazing. Your head is cold.
Yeah.
What will your father say when he see you wearing your hoodie hat?
What is he gonna say?
It's a beanie.
Oh, your beanie hat.
He's gonna say that's Sean doing what he normally does. I can take it off.
It's not a beanie hat.
No,
Yeah, sure,
you represent you.
You want to see what my hair looks like?
He's got the Carhartt on.
That's what?
He's got the Carhartt.
Yeah, Carhartt bad.
Amazing. And hey, what do you say about fear and trembling? Have you ever gone to God in fear and trembling?
I'm not sure.
You're not sure about what?
If I have gone to God in fear and trembling.
I doubt if you have.
It's funny because that question shut me up about the answer that I was going to give. Well, then I guess we're done then. But it did cross my mind because I actually answered it last Sunday because you asked it,
Right.
and I said, be serious about it, about the God stuff.
How do you be serious?
You know. Just be religious about it.
How you be religious about it?
Be consistent.
That doesn't work.
Persistent. Persistent?
Religious.
How does it work?
It doesn't.
It does not?
No, being religious about it.
It kind of helps.
In what way?
In that
You might be right. In what way?
In that you're consistent about it. And persistent about it.
Oh, okay.
Like you do it religiously.
What does religiously mean?
Consistently and persistently.
Oh, I see. Amazing.
At the risk of... But I also thought of knowing that we're like at the mercy of God and we can't do anything. And so kind of like what Hassan said is that rather than having these other gods before him, just go to him.
Mm.
Whatever that means.
And how are we at the mercy of God?
Meaning we can't fix ourselves or our lives.
Oh, okay. Amazing.
Yeah.
So, Dura, because of time, and I want to ask you guys to respond to one other thing here. What was the answer yesterday?
You basically said that when you're feeling this pain of either fear or anxiety or whatever you're feeling, you're supposed to relax in it and go through it. And that's bringing it to God, not chasing another thrill, not doing all these different things, but just going through it is bringing it to God. And what reminded me of is just what you had said a few Sundays ago of laying your weapons
Past
down.
Sundays ago. Past is not a go. Future is not a go.
They knew. The
He
chat knew.
said the future Sundays ago.
The people knew. Okay.
Maybe he meant a
And then
few.
he mentioned the past.
No, I said a few Sundays ago, and that's still proper. Thank you. But what you said by laying your weapons down, and yeah, it just makes so much sense. I was thinking of it in the other way of like I was saying, the respecting, but that makes more sense when you actually go through it. You actually realize in it, when you don't put a fight up against it, that all of it was lies, because
Yeah.
you see that none of the ideas you thought were gonna happen happened, and it's just revealed to you. So
Yes,
it's deep.
just to add to that, when you're afraid of something, when you're worried, when you're anxious, when you have all this stuff going on inside of you, the only reason you're feeling what you're feeling and thinking what you're thinking is because that thing in you, which you think is you, is what's feeling it and thinking it. And the reason it's shaking because the light of God is shining on it, and God is trying to save you from it. He wants you to know that that's not you, but because you think it is you, you won't allow him to save you from it. When I say you, I mean human beings.
Yeah.
They'd rather go, as Hassan was saying earlier, they'll go and find some drugs or something else to save them from it, rather than let the light of God save them. And the drugs don't save you from it. It adds to it.
So what would you say to for people in general that feel the pain so heavily and they just want some relief in that moment, but God's not taking it away right away? What would you recommend?
Don't want release. Don't complain about it. Carry the cross. Suffer through it. Don't, because it's not you. You're going to eventually see that the pain and the release you wanted was never you, but it was the spirit of evil inside of you pretending to be you. So just relax and go through it. Don't complain. Christ never complained when he had to go through it. He went through the exact same thing. It was even worse for him. So just relax. Amazing. Anybody want to add anything to that?
Yeah, it's amazing how, like the devil will try to convince you to try to do it too.
Right.
He'll say you need to like put your will into this and try to, make this better yourself.
And he does that because he doesn't want to depart from you. He wants you to keep thinking that it is you. That's why and everybody identify with this false nature as them.
Yeah.
Amazing. That's deep, huh?
Yep.
I want you guys to respond to something. You guys are millennials, and I want to hear what you all think about this. I'll put my 2 cents in, too. This guy needs some advice, and I need you guys to give this guy some advice. This is a YouTube a video called Life Rant. And Life Rant, I had never heard of it until today, by the way. And this guy, KevSoLitty,
Yeah.
KevSoLitty, here's a clip from it. He said life feels so meaningless.
It's bullshit. Nobody cares about you. Nobody cares about you in this world. Everybody just wants to be around you when you have money, when you can feed them, when you can help them. But the moment you're down and you don't have any money or you don't have anything, nobody sees you anymore. Nobody cares about you anymore. That's all life really is. You're born, you go to school, you work, you get old, you retire, and then you just die. Sometimes I really wonder what the purpose of life is. It's a lot of suffering, it's just a lot of emotional trauma and suffering and betrayal and struggles. And the only advice that we really get is, make sure you go to college, make sure you go to college. And you know what the worst feeling is? When you have a degree and you feel like that degree is worthless, and you feel worthless. Nobody in this world cares about you, and nobody in this world can help you. The only person that can help you is yourself. And that's just a lonely world, such a lonely world to live in.
Wow. He looked like a Chinese, but he speak like a white person.
Or black.
Yeah, he
He's
speaks
like-
a little black, you know, not even like a white person.
He said worthless.
How old is he?
He's
Look-
like 12, but
He said life is a bitch and then you die. What? Didn't he say that in essence?
Yeah.
You go to school, you do this, they tell you go to college, they tell you this, and you still feel all this and this, so then you die. You retire and then you die. What do you say about that, Nick? What do you? Your
It makes
response
me
to
think
that?
about what that someone was talking about yesterday during church. They were saying how life is meaningless. Now she wasn't tripping about it, but they were, and other people responded to this too. That what do we do now, Jesse? Like conversation seems meaningless. I don't really care about the things I used to care about, etc. And I was thinking about that, and they're like, it's not fun, like doing all this stuff. But I realized that actually doing all the fake stuff is fun, sort of, because you do it a little differently. You do it with a different mentality. Doing all the fake conversations, it's like you're in it but not of it. And so he's talking about all this stuff, and it's just a lie. It's just an absolute lie. He's saying, "Oh, life is betrayal," but it's not all just that, and it's just an absolute lie.
But he said that they tell you to go to school, be smart. I'm paraphrasing, 'cause I forgot exactly how he put it. They didn't tell you to go to college. You go to college, that you get a degree, and the degree feel worthless because you still feel worthless. And look like life is just, you go to school, you work, you get old, you retire, and then you die.
Yeah.
Isn't that's the way everybody's life is?
Yeah.
What do you say to it, Joel?
I think that
What kind of advice y'all get this guy? Y'all
Well-
millennials?
well, I think he should have watched the and not like to overpraise it, but it was good. But he should have watched the church yesterday, because you talked exactly what he's talking about. But yeah, I think he just got caught up on these false ideas of like the excitements of life and purpose and all the thrills that you speak of. He got caught up on that, and then it just let him down, and now he's feeling a certain way about it. But yeah, he just needs to do the silent prayer at the end of the day.
What do you say, Hassan, to it? None of you guys seen this before, right? Yeah, right. They haven't seen this stuff for Sean.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, it kind of reminds me of like young men who talk about like women. They'll be like, "Oh, well, these women are gold diggers and this and that, and my life is just horrible. I'll never be an asset to anyone." Like him saying that people want stuff from you and this and that. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I think that people with this type of it's very victim kind of mentality, and I think you shouldn't want to be an asset necessarily for people in that way, but I think it should motivate you to like that you can maybe be an asset to people. Not that that's important, but instead of being a victim and crying about it, you should be able to, it should motivate you to be in a position where you can be an asset for people.
And what do you say to the about the guy or to the guy? Advice or anything?
Don't put it on camera.
That's for sure.
And just accept it.
That's right.
Let me take a quick break. When I come back, we'll finish this and your phone calls and super chats. 888-7753-773. Back in a moment. You can't run from evil within yourself or outside of self. You got to deal with it. And you need good in order to deal with evil. And God is good. You need to return to the Father And you'll see within you, he will fight the battle for you. And he will fight it without, because he will show you how to deal with it. And you will have no fear. Love God with all your heart, all your soul, all your might, along with nothing else. Nothing else means yourself, your children, your wife, your things, your ego, your reputation, and all that. You can't care about any of that. The children of anger will use it to control you. But if you love God, he will renew your mind, and none of those things will be before him. And so when they go after you, oh, well, you may take my body, you may take my things, but you're not going to take my soul. And that's a true reality. Okay, folks, welcome back. We're going to get to your calls and stuff in a minute here. I just want to finish up. My experts are giving advice to this young man, KevSoLitty, and Kev is having a hard time dealing with life. And my experts are telling him what to do. They're millennials, so they're advising Kev and all those guys out there and ladies who are having a hard time with life. And James, you say that he should not even put it on video.
Yeah.
And why not?
Because the girls are going to judge you.
Yeah. And the guys too.
Right.
Because the guys have a girl mentality.
Yeah.
It's amazing to me, in the good old days, you were just forbidden by both parents, father and mother, and other who don't put your stuff out there.
Yeah.
Don't tell your business to folks. They just knows and they can't do anything but gossip about you. And yet it's so popular nowadays.
Because it's the pretense is that if you get it out, it'll get better. But it doesn't get better. It gets, you just end up wallowing in it and you feel good. You may feel better for a second.
But that's just a minute feeling.
Yeah. But then later, in the long run, you're worse off. I think there's like wisdom to the being quiet.
Yeah. It's deep. And because I think the idea of putting your business out there came from women.
Yeah.
I remember Oprah and all those people used to do that a lot in the olden days.
Because they accuse men of bottling up. Sorry.
Right. Go ahead.
They accuse the men of bottling up their emotions and then they lash out at the end. But that's not necessarily how it's actually really works.
I can truly tell you that I'm counseling with some. I met with them once. I got another meeting coming. They're like underground people who are doing the Oprah days and putting their business out there. And these are like professionals. Yeah. They're like have major jobs, public jobs. And they are miserable because they put their stuff out there years ago, and now it's all on TV, it's everywhere, and they can hardly function in life. Because even if somebody is not thinking what they're thinking that the people think about what they said.
Right.
And then some of the guys have gotten involved with women who heard or watching those shows, and those women are judging them.
Yep.
They're like, what the? I don't know why men listen to women. It's crazy.
Yeah.
When God said, every time you listen to the woman, you're going to suffer. And so, Sean, what would you say to KevSoLitty about this first feeling he has?
I'd say that's just reality. You know, you are born and then you die. Nobody really has love. Nobody really cares about you. You have to work. Yeah, that's reality. Like I'm sure growing up you were expecting to have some sort of good feeling out of life. I don't know who taught you that, you know.
Yeah.
But that's just not reality. And he's even now still putting it online. He's expecting something. He still has these expectations.
And he's going to live to regret that he put it online, because he already can't deal with anything. He's just going to have to, when he get older, he's going to realize, I should have never done that. So he really added on to his troubles. And so this is real, right?
Yeah.
Amazing. Here's one other. This guy, KevSoLitty, is struggling with relationships. Watch this.
remember when I was younger, just growing up being different and just feeling like I was ugly. And I used to think, like, if I could just be average, if I could just fit in with everybody else and just get along. And I remember one time I was at the playground with my friends. And there was this one girl that came up to me and she was like, I've never met somebody as ugly as you. Like, you're so ugly. I remember saying, like, I know I'm ugly. And I wish I was better looking. Nobody cares about you. And life itself is just a constant struggle. I feel like I can never get a peace of mind. But then when I get a girlfriend, I guess I just dated the wrong ones a few times. And I was just a nice guy. I was too nice, and I always cared about their feelings and always made sure that they're happy. And all they ever did was cheat on me and flirt with other guys and just left me for somebody else. It's hard to just find some people who are loyal and trustworthy and will be there for you no matter what. It's so hard to find people like that.
He's right that there is no love in this world at all. Nobody loves nobody. Not real love, for sure.
Yeah, this kid's a genius.
He is?
Yeah.
What do you mean?
He's just a marketing propaganda genius. I love this kid.
Is this your first time seeing him?
Yeah.
And so, I don't know what you mean. I'm old.
Like, he's just, it's good propaganda. I mean, he's got us talking about him. He's got the internet talking about him. He's smart.
So he's not being real?
No, he could be real and it could be good propaganda. They don't have to be binary. He could be telling the truth and he's still a propaganda master. Propaganda can also be true.
What does propaganda mean?
Like, just like you're saying, like him putting it out there is bad and he'll regret to live to see that. But I don't know. It depends on what his goal is.
So you think he's acting?
No, I think he's telling the truth, but I still think he's a propagandist.
Oh.
But I used to feel this way for sure. So I understand, like, about women, about life. Like, I used to feel this way, so I know what he's saying. I get what he's saying, and I understand it. But he's like pointing the finger at everybody else. But I had to realize it was me. I was the problem. I didn't have confidence. I was allowing women to walk on me or do all these things. So. But it was like I enjoyed also the pity party, and that's what it sounds like he's doing. And he putting it online because he's poor at him.
At the time, did you know you were enjoying the pity party?
No, because I wasn't intentionally enjoying it. Like, I wasn't saying like, oh, I want to be like this. But I knew it was pitiful, though. I was like, what's going on? Yeah, it was bad, but it was pretty bad. So that's why I understand, the ugly thing, like, everybody thinks I'm ugly. Girls don't want me. Like, I used to have those thoughts as a teenager. So I understand it. But it's all false, fake stuff.
What you saying to that Hake? Struggle with relationships.
Well, that was a mistake to be trying to keep them happy. Keep those girls happy and cater to their emotions like he was saying he did. But I don't think that he needs people to be loyal necessarily. Like, that they're not loyal. You cut them some slack if you want to be friends with them, or you just leave them alone if you don't. But what do you need their loyalty for? You know what I mean? Like, you just be loyal to yourself, I guess. I mean, just live your life. You don't need a whole lot of loyalty from other people in order to function in life.
You don't need any.
Yeah.
Sean, where did this idea come from? Where did this idea come from with the millennial men? I know some older guys are like this too, but it's really prevalent in the millennial world that the guy should be catering to women like this. Like he said, he did a lot of that too, and all the girls did was cheat on him.
I mean, it feels good. It puffs up your ego. To feel like, oh, I'm taking care of somebody.
I know, but in the good old days, men had egos too at that time, but they knew not to do that. And so it was rarely done, if any. I'm sure some guys we could do, but it was a popular thing to do because the men knew not to cater to the woman like that.
Yeah.
So how did it become so prevalent in your generation, millennial generation, and Z's?
I don't know. It's a good question.
Oh, okay.
I don't know.
Do you know Hake?
I'm not sure, but I feel like movies kind of romanticize the messed up misfit. Maybe not this bad, crying in front of the camera like that. Although to Hassan's point, is really nice quality, and I like how it's not reversed mirrored. But
Whatever that means.
The hair's good. Oh, because normally like you're confused at which side of the car he's on.
Oh,
I'm pretty sure he's in America, and it looks like he's clearly on the left side, the driver's side of the car.
oh, okay.
But anyway, you
Y'all
know,
checking out the details.
the quality, the
The
picture
man
is
has
crisp.
pain. Y'all checking out the details. But anyway, go ahead.
The rebel without a cause. Some of these movies with these dysfunctional, out of it men who aren't just everybody loves them. They don't all love. Everybody doesn't necessarily love them. They're outcasts. They're brooding. I feel like that's been promoted in the movies, and that gets in. I remember that getting into me. Oh, I want to be different, and
You want to cater to the women?
no, not that, but
Oh.
you know how they were still like emotional underneath it,
Right.
and so the men being emotional has been pushed onto people for generations
I think
from the movies and all that stuff.
I think that also back then, like to make your point, Jesse, back then your families there was just a foundation. Even if the families weren't even like the greatest examples, there was
Right.
still like a basic level of foundation that was built in them. To where over time, I think with our generation, that foundation has not been built. So we're just, especially Gen Z is worse too, but millennials as well is like we're just trying to. We don't know nothing from nothing. We don't know what left, right, up, down. So we just we just go with the wind with whatever feels good. And there's no like basic understanding of true foundation of truth or light. So we're just in the dark trying to find something.
So Nick, is there in the millennial men and Z's, is there like a little something in there that says, no, I'm not catering to this bitch?
Yeah, I think so a little bit. I've seen it.
Nice.
But you're talking about in the younger?
Yeah, because the millennials like totally cater to women now. Their life is about pleasing the woman, not about the woman have to follow them at all. It's all about how can I conquer the woman? How can I please the woman? How can I buy? Isn't there like a little thing in there that says, no, that's wrong? Because it used to be in all men.
When you put it like that, I'm not so sure. Because what I'm seeing is the younger like for example, the Gen Z coming after millennials or whatever. They seem to be, at least some of them, overreacting to the weakness of millennials. You're saying the millennials, they want to conquer the woman, but I only see the weakness part. And I'm not saying the conquering is
What do you mean by
strong.
the weakness part? When I say conquer, they're trying to figure out how to
Right,
get sex
sex.
from her, how to. Well, I don't know what they
I
want.
totally
Their
understand.
worth
That's the
is
thing. I mean, now that sex out of wedlock is just common, it's just normal. They have to get, they still have to get it somehow. So they just cater to them.
But you don't need to cater to the woman to get sex. When
Okay.
you don't cater, you're going to get it anyway. You have
Well-
more chance to get it at less cost. Go ahead.
No, I was just. What were you saying? I was saying. Oh yeah, I think the Gen Zs are overreacting to the weakness of the millennials, and they're thinking they're being strong by getting into the conquering, and they're saying Andrew. If the proof of what I'm talking about is all the younger people being so into Andrew Tate and all that, the millennials would have thought that was like misogynist and you know what I'm saying?
Millennials will have.
Would see that, right? So
Oh, but
the Gen Zs are seeing that, saying, "No, we're gonna be trying to conquer them, being in that." But that's still like a weakness to them.
So they write Andrew because the millennials Is it millennials
No,
watching
the Gen
Andrew?
Zs
or
are they're watching Andrew Tate.
because Andrew talk about how to conquer women.
Correct.
And do they think that they're going to bring peace, or just
Yeah, they think it's at least different than the millennials, and from what I can tell.
is Andrew?
What I can gather.
This guy Andrew, is he a millennial or is he?
No, I think he's an X.
Is he?
Yeah.
What's the X?
James.
Oh, you that old?
A little bit older than me. He's millennial. He's 37 only.
Oh,
Oh.
I don't know what I'm talking about.
And so I'm not. Help me, Sean, to understand it. Why the men are feeling this way now?
I mean, like I said, the sex out of wedlock is just common. It's not even a thought. It's not even a second thought. You know, like people just grow up, and that's just what people do in high school and college. It's just what people do.
And so this guy struggling with relationship. Is it about sex or something else?
Yeah, I'd say that. You know, and not just like the actual physical act, but also just his like sexual appeal with women is something he's worried about. He's worried about being ugly. Like he's not worried about being ugly with other guys, I assume. You know, he's worried about his sexual appeal with women.
And why?
Because sex out of wedlock is an option. It's something in people's mind. It's an option on the table. It's on the table.
But
Back when you were talking about, it was more common for that not to be an option.
But you know what's strange about what you're saying though? It's like if you look at OnlyFans as an example, that online website where you can pay individual women who put up their basically sexually explicit photos, what those guys are paying for, because you can see that stuff for free online. You could just, you know what I'm talking about.
you can see it at the gym for free.
Exactly. But what you got to understand is these people on OnlyFans, they're paying for not even the nudity, it's for the interaction they're getting with this woman. They're getting this thrill out of like, this person's talking to me, because you get that like intimate aspect of the OnlyFans thing. And that's like pointing to what you've been talking about for 30 years. Like these young men have no idea that they have the female spirit. They're subject to women through the mother, that whole thing. And it's like the strangest thing too, because you just examine it a little bit, it should fall apart. How did it get like this, that women can both say, "Oh, we're weak, we're strong, independent women, but also we need you to cater to us because we're the weaker vessel," kind
Right.
of implication. You know what I mean?
Women claim to be strong, yet they say cater to me. I'm like, what? Nah. Anything else? I want to play this.
Yeah, I mean, like the guys are measuring their worth on how they can get women, when it should be, if anything, the other way around. The women should be how they can get a man.
And he is kind of ugly, but that's his fault.
He's ugly?
Yeah, because.
But women love ugly men.
No, because he. No, I mean
They don't
like.
care about what you look like. They care about the money and the attention.
I say ugly in the sense of like, for one, he does
He's
look
ugly
12.
for being weak.
Right, and then he does look 12. He doesn't.
That's because you Chinese.
But
boy.
that's the look.
It's like when I was on a
And then
playground
his
2
hair
weeks
is like,
ago.
He got bangs.
a lot of women that would.
And then he got bangs too. Like it's just he looked
That's a
feminine.
Chinese look.
I think he looks futuristic.
But it looked
Right.
feminine.
He
It looked
does
weak.
look futuristic.
He looks like a singer.
It looked weak.
Anytime I see Asian people in outfits, they could be wearing the same outfit as me, but they just look 5 times cooler because they just look futuristic, like robots.
They look like an anime. They look like an anime, and they look weak. So it's his fault.
Joel's a racist.
You racist. You hate the Asian.
Complimentary racist.
Yes, sir.
Shout out to the Asians.
That's right. We love the Asian. So last one, dealing with his parents, right? Watch this from KevSoLitty.
It's even worse when you don't have supportive parents. Your parents are the ones that care about you, yet they're the first ones to put you down. They're the first ones to tell you that you're useless, that you're nothing, that you're just trash, and never support you in anything you do. Everything you do is wrong. If you don't do what they want you to do, you're wrong. It's like, can I just do what I like? Like, do you even know what I like to do in my life? Do you even know what makes me happy?
love this kid.
And why?
Because he's so like, you know, like he's relatable, you know, like sometimes you gotta, you know, that's what I mean by the propaganda. It's like he's understands what is going to be relatable to majority of people. So him being open about it just makes people relate to that. So
in what way? Oh, they like saying, "Oh yeah, that happens to me too."
Because there's a lot of
But
people.
how is that helping him though?
Helping who?
Him. Is he trying to get help or he trying to make a video?
Well, it's a complex. There's complex answers to that, but it's helping him in multiple ways.
How?
Well, like I said, as far as like, you mean spiritually?
No, I'm just asking.
You're saying it's like a fellowship. He's trying to like engage in a fellowship online?
Well, I'm just saying as far as like smart marketing, that he's relatable to lots of people who wouldn't be open about these kind of things. So him being open about it.
So he's not serious about it. He's trying to market himself.
No, I think he's serious. But he can also be serious and also be understanding that he's now going to be like this catalyst for people who wouldn't speak up.
But everybody does this. All the millennials. This is not anything new.
Well,
this come a dime a dozen.
Well, I don't think, well, see, that's the thing. I don't think that he's intentionally trying to be propagandist or having a marketing thing. I think that he really feels this way. But I think the reason why he's jumped on here, and I could be wrong, but I think he jumped on here because he knows it's acceptable and he can do it because we see it all over the place all the time. And he has no shame about it because it's just a normal thing. I don't think he's necessarily, I think he's really going through this and he's really feeling this.
You think?
And yeah, but I don't think that, I think it so happened to be good propaganda for him, but I don't think he intentionally was trying to.
I agree with that too.
You agree with that, you say?
Yes.
You don't think he intentionally tried to be propagandist?
No. This is what he definitely feels, but yeah.
But what?
But it's also relatable because a lot of people feel this way.
Oh, okay.
And he's just being.
So he's not trying to get help per se. He just want to be a little bitch out there crying on the video and be propagandist and related.
Yeah, be relatable, yeah.
But it's not for help.
Well, I don't know. Not in the type of help not the real help, no.
Oh.
But
you agree with that?
There's other forms, I guess.
I don't think he wants to be help because I feel like people who want help don't go online. They don't go and like broadcast it. Like they're really going through it, so they want to go find some help. And so I think that it feels good to let it go.
Last word, Sean.
When you say that you want to not try to get things out of situations, but you want to try to get an understanding,
right?
Isn't trying to get an understanding trying to get something out of a situation?
No.
Because you're trying to get something. You're trying to get an understanding.
When you try to get something from it, you're pleasing your ego. When you understand it, you're killing the ego. Because understanding only comes from God.
Right, but when you try to get that understanding, when you put your will into extracting that understanding, that's what that video reminds me of.
I know, but to get understanding, there's no effort at all. Because you understand it, you don't know how to do it, what to do.
Bye.
Back in a moment.
I totally disagree with the way things are going, but you can't be angry because that's what the enemy wants. He wants to control you. They do things to make you mad so they can control you. It's like being married. And the wife would do things to make you mad, or she'll do things to make you feel good. And men do that to women too when they want something from the woman, especially sex. They'll make her feel good or they'll make her angry. And the woman's gonna have to say, you don't want to be angry. You want to speak up. You want to disagree with what's going on. It's wrong, but do not be angry. Then you won't have fear. You won't have doubt. You won't have worries. You'll be able to see, but you got to stay away from anger. That's why you must forgive your mothers and your fathers so that you can overcome the spirit of anger. It's a spirit and it's wicked. Nothing good in anger because it has no love, folks. You need love to defeat evil. And love is not a weakness. It's a strength. It's from God. It's His nature.
I think Hassan was making more sense.
A whole
lot of mess going on in the world. This is the end of hour one of the Jesse Peterson Show. It is Monday. Everybody loves Mondays. December 11th, 2023 AD. Stay tuned for hour two. JLP will be right back, and you will get to your calls, guys. Appreciate them. There is one line open. Thanks for hanging in there. But first, Hake news, not fake news. Get to the airport early. Comedy Nonsense Network CNN reports the surest way to less stress at the airport during the holidays. Arrive with time to spare, of course. At least 2 hours early is fine for domestic flights, according to the standard that the TSA, Transportation Security Administration, advises. A good timing strategy will be crucial if you're among the record crowds flying during the peak 10-day travel period this month. So watch out. I don't know what the peak 10-day travel period is, but Saturday, December 3rd to Monday, January 1st. That's the peak travel period, I guess. The Israel-Palestine war drama drags on. Clashes between the military of Israel and Hamas are intensifying in Gaza. Pressure builds for Israel to agree to a ceasefire. In an update on Sunday, Israel said that they struck more than 250 Hamas targets. Within 24 hours, Israel forces have ordered residents to in the main southern city of Khan Yunis to evacuate ahead of additional strikes. Still unclear how many people might be aware of the instruction, given the lack of communication in so much of the enclave. Meanwhile, the U.S. is facing condemnation after we being, I guess, the UN ambassador, vetoed a UN Security Council resolution last week demanding an immediate truce in Gaza. UN Secretary-General Antonio Guterres, no I, it's not Gutierrez, it's Guterres, says he will not give up calling for a ceasefire, but said to expect a public order to completely break down soon, he said. Tennessee tornadoes. Meanwhile, in America, powerful tornadoes and storms tore through Tennessee over the weekend, shredding hundreds of homes, killing at least 6 people. More than 34,000 Tennesseans were without power earlier today. Maybe to this moment, hundreds facing prolonged outages due to widespread destruction. In Nashville, local utility estimates that they may take days to restore power to some. In Clarksville, near the Kentucky border, and it's cold over there, I think, maybe. Clarksville, near the Kentucky border, local officials said they could take weeks to get power after a tornado destroyed over 90 buildings and left at least 270 others uninhabitable. Wow, the same storm that spawned the deadly tornadoes will bring more severe weather to at least a dozen eastern U.S. states today. So we're wishing you well. We're pulling for you. Keep warm somehow. The Trump trial, our greatest president, Donald J. Trump, was supposed to testify again in New York, in his New York civil fraud trial today, that fraud of a trial. But he made a surprise announcement Sunday saying he would not appear. The GOP frontrunner's decision to forego testimonies is the latest of his relentless attacks on the civil fake fraud case brought by New York black female Attorney General Letitia James, Democrat, who is seeking $250 million in damages to bar Trump from doing business in the state of New York. Our greatest president attended the civil trial last Thursday, although he didn't have to be there, and used every opportunity to speak to TV cameras during the breaks. Right on. Political experts say Trump's trials have become part of his pitch to his base, arguing, as if it takes an expert to know that, arguing that his own plethora of legal woes is a reason voters should re-elect him. That's fact. Elon Musk restores the X, formerly known as Twitter, account of conspiracy theorist Alex Jones. That is my competitor. CNN reports that the move, or they speculate that the move, will likely impact X even further as companies distance themselves from Elon Musk and the troubled platform. Give me a break. And rest in peace to Frank Wycheck. He fell. He was 52 years old and he died. I'm James Hake. Now back to JLP, Hour 2.
got to stand up strong. Face the truth about themselves to understand what went wrong. I know we can find a way. I know we can find a way. I know we can find a way to stand up, stand up, stand up.
Uniting the races with truth instead of dividing them with lies. We're also, rebuilding the family by rebuilding the man. I'm Jesse Lee Peterson. Welcome to the second hour of the show today. Merry Christmas. You can get involved by calling 888-77-53, 773-888-77-JESSE. JESSE. Brand new biblical question. If you missed the responses to the last week biblical question, what does it mean to go to God in fear and trembling? You can watch the fellowship from yesterday by going to rebuildingtheman.com/church, or today. First hour, I had my experts in here. We discussed it. But there is a brand new one now. Do you worship yourself? Do you worship yourself? That's a deep one. I love these backgrounds they've been putting with these biblical questions lately. Amazing, profound. Do you worship yourself? Amazing, right? And we have every way that you can watch and support the show listed on JesseLeePeterson.com/show. JesseLeePeterson.com/show. And if you're busy anywhere in the world, no matter where you are, if you're busy, you could still be listening to the show while it's happening live by calling the listen line on TalkStream Live at 641-793-1500, 641-793-1500. And don't forget to follow us on social media. Follow, like, subscribe, and ring the bell, all that. We are on Rumble and all those things. And to donate, we're on Instagram. Jesse Lee Peters on Instagram. JLP Talk on X. And to donate and have your comments read out loud, go to buymeacoffee.com/JLP Talk. buymeacoffee.com/JLP Talk or rebuildingtheman.com. I want to get to the busy phones. Let me go to Ron out of Texas. Ron, welcome to the show. You're on the air.
Hey, Uncle Jesse.
Hey, Ron.
How's it going?
Amazing.
That's good. That's good. Hey, I just want to say this. After slavery, after the Civil War, the former slave owners begged for and received reparations. Do you agree with me that they begged for and received reparations only because they knew they couldn't make it on their own?
No, I don't agree with you at all about that.
Oh, I think they could. They believe, just like you say with the blacks, they couldn't make it on their own. That's why they begged for and received reparations.
And are you saying that the blacks can't make it on their own?
The blacks have been making it on their own. It seems like the whites have not been making it on their own. They received reparations.
Are you saying that the blacks cannot make it on their own?
The blacks have made it on their own. No reparations, no
they're
help.
begging. We have given them the white schools for. We have given them welfare since about 70 or so years ago. We have taken
Everybody
care of them.
receives reparations. More white people receive reparations.
Hold on, right.
Okay.
We've given them welfare, the blacks. We're giving them welfare. We're giving them the white neighborhoods. We've given them affirmative action, whereas they don't have to do anything but show up, and they don't have to qualify for anything. We've given them air traffic controllers without being educated or qualified for it. We have given them the white woman. We have given the blacks everything. And if the blacks were able to make it on their own, why are they still begging, and now they're begging for reparation? We even gave them the white communities. We're now giving them the governments. And all they're doing is destroying it and still begging. Now they want reparation. You say that they have taken care of themselves. If that's true, why we have to do so much for them?
Because the government gave the so-called white man reparations. That's why.
So that's why we had to do so much for the blacks.
You don't have to do anything for the blacks. What are you talking about?
I just named all what we've done for them.
All those things went for all races.
And they're
Jesse.
still begging for reparation. Let me ask you this, Ron.
Let me say this, please. All those things you just mentioned went to all races. So you could just don't mention those no more.
Let me ask, being a grown man, what is it like constantly begging and comparing yourself to the white man, and instead of just living now, what is it about you, Ron, that makes you consistently keep your eye on the white man and want what he has?
Where did you get that conclusion from? That's not what I call for, sir. All I call for is to let you know that the white man received reparations.
What is it about you that's even on your mind at all?
Because you say that the blacks could not make it without reparations. The whites received reparations, so that means they couldn't make it neither, and they knew that.
But what is it about you, Ron, that's even a concern, a thought, anything for you?
I'm a historian.
You're what?
Historian.
What's that?
I know history, real history.
But why don't you do the real history of the blacks not being capable of taking care of anything or running anything? Or if you're a historian, why don't you point the blacks back to themselves?
Did you even know that the whites received reparations?
Answer that
before
question
this call?
for me. What is it, if you're a historian, whatever that is, why aren't you trying to point the blacks back to themselves as individuals so that America and the world will start respecting them again?
That's a good question. I'm glad for that question, sir. I point blacks into worshiping God and only God, the one true God.
Ron,
okay?
Why don't you? I got to go, buddy. Thank you, Ron. I tried. Let me go to Jaden. There's a line open, 888-7753-773. I want to mention in a minute here this thing with the Palestine and the Jews and the uproar about it. And I remember we played a video of overtime, but I remember one in Pacific of a so-called black professor calling for the oust of white people. But I'll get to that in a minute. Jaden, and there was no protest, nobody got fired or anything about it. I wonder why the white life is less valuable than any other life. I'm just wondering out loud. Jaden, welcome to the show. You're on the air.
Hey, what's up, Jesse?
All is well.
Can you hear me?
Loud and clear.
Nice. So I'm 17, and I've been watching your show for about a year. I called in a while ago about the Marines. You probably don't remember that, but back then I was smoking pot, and I was angry like my mother. And everything you said about God and life and ego, it just clicked, and it all made sense when I started doing the silent prayer, but I didn't understand before that. But the question I have is, so I want a girlfriend, right? Or a wife, I should say.
You say you want one?
Yeah. And the only
you want a
reason
wife or a girlfriend?
A wife.
Okay.
And the only reason I want one is because I want to have like 20 kids and I want to have my own plantation of sorts. I know you want to have a plantation. I want to have my own plantation of sorts with my 20 kids and raise them to be, God-fearing and, doing the silent prayer on my little farm. And I'm only 17 again. But my question is, whenever I try to romance girls, especially my age, that ego comes back, and because my ego is familiar with the socialization,
Right.
The Rizz, your experts might know what that means, the Rizz. But when I don't have the ego, I don't have that same, socialization skill. So I like fall flat every time, especially with girls my age. So do you think that is? Do you think there's a way around that, or what's your opinion on that?
You said because you don't have what now?
Because I don't have the Rizz.
What's a Rizz?
You should ask your experts, but it's basically like charm.
You don't have the charm?
Yeah, I don't. It sounds silly, but I don't have the charm, man.
So you don't have the charm to do what?
Well, when I don't have my ego and I'm just living in the present, I don't have that same charm as if I was in my ego fallen state, and I don't have the charm to pick up girls.
And why do you need? And Joel is coming in to explain that to me. But
All right.
Why do you need charm for a woman?
Because, girls my age, especially, Jesse, they're all in the fallen state. I feel like every girl's in the fallen state when they're single, as you said, as
Right.
well. They're, living in hell. How else am I supposed to get to them if I don't have charm?
And so why? So Joel, you know what Joel is? You know who Joel is?
Yeah, Black Joel.
He black. He's also the host
Black.
of the Joel Friday TV on Tuesday.
Right.
He doesn't have the rig. You're a millennial. What's the rig? He said he doesn't have the charm.
Yeah, so Rizz is basically like, it's like charm. So he feels like he doesn't have the charm to entice women when he's not living from his ego.
What's a charm?
So
What is that? How you know?
So what that is like saying all the right things and like smiling to the girls, or like just
Wooing
putting
them?
his game. He's just using his
lying
game.
to the woman to get her.
Pretty much. That's what it is.
Oh, so you don't have the ability to lie to the woman anymore to get her?
Well, I do if I want to activate my ego again, but I don't want to do that.
Nice.
I think. Can I get my opinion?
Yeah.
I think that you want to focus on finding true confidence within yourself that girls will just be attracted to when they see it in you. You don't want to try to go out your way to Rizz the women, because that's just praising them, and they're looking down upon you in the first anyway.
Right. So y'all took Rizz out of the word charisma?
I get that.
Oh,
That's
yeah.
a Gen Z thing.
What the?
That's a Gen Z thing.
Y'all mess up the moon if you get to it. And so your question for me is what?
So is there a way to, I guess Joel really just said it, but if I have confidence but I can't woo the ladies, am I going to be able to get a wife?
Yes. If it's meant to be, I promise you, man, if it's meant to be, the Father, God, who you're now returned to, will add one unto you, and it will be the wife that was meant for you, and it will be last until death do you part. But don't want for it. Don't think you need it, because masculinity, women are subject to that. And that's what will draw the woman unto you. Men should not be chasing the woman, but the woman should be chasing the man. And your masculinity, which is of God, and it sounds like you're returning to that, it will draw the right woman unto you. You won't have to do anything for it.
Right.
But don't want for it, because wanting for it, you're putting that before God.
But the only reason I want is because I want kids.
But you
Is that a bad
still
thing?
shouldn't even want kids either. You should want for nothing, and all will be added unto you. Because if you want for something, you're divided, and you're going to get what you want, but it won't work out.
Jesse, I don't want to play this game, but don't you want to start a plantation?
No.
Didn't you say you wanted to start a plantation?
Right, but I use that word to communicate. But if I get one, fine. If I don't, fine. But you got to communicate, right? And so you communicate.
Right.
You communicate in consciousness rather than the lower level of wanting. If
Right.
I get one, fine. If I don't, fine. But there's
isn't
nothing
it our-
inside of me that wanted it.
Didn't you say it was our mission from God to have children? And I think that's what you said. You didn't say spread the word, did you?
I said the purpose of marriage is to make babies. It's not to
Right.
get love. It's not to get anything of the ego. It's only to make babies.
But how am I going to keep a good marriage together if I don't have love? What are the kids going to see?
If you don't try to get love from anyone and only get it from God, you will have it, and the kids will see that in you, and they will grow from that love rather than the anger. Because you will have real love, which is the nature of God.
I'm going to take your advice on that because I know you have kids and you said you raised them pretty well, I'd say. But
are you doing
yeah,
the silent prayer every morning, every night?
Of course. Oh,
Okay.
Of course, man. I try to get my friends on it too.
Yeah, but stay with the prayer so God can change your nature of wanting anything. And then
Right.
he even tell us not to worry about those things. They will be added to you. And if it's meant for you to be married and have 80 children, it will happen naturally and it will be amazing. And if your wife decide one day she was tired and wanted to leave, you're like, okay, bye. Leave the children here, you can go.
That's wise. Jesse, could I ask for one more thing?
Yes.
My little brother is only 13, but I've been trying to get him to understand you, but he watches Hassan a lot. And he's in the room with me. He just wanted to ask why you have such a negative view on Islam and why you hate them so much when you're supposed to love them. That's it.
Islam?
Yeah.
I don't have a negative view on them, and I love them.
But he said that you said negative things about them, like they all blow up buildings and stuff.
Well, I ain't say they all blow up buildings, but from knowing that's their thing,
Real quick.
I know that they've been taught, not that they have been taught that Christians and Jews are infidels, and they have been taught that if they were to sacrifice, put a belt around themselves and sacrifice their life, they're going to get 8 virgins and all. So, and I've seen it. I guess they've taken it out of the Quran, but I've seen it in the Quran, so it concerns me. But I don't hate them because I realize they cannot see.
Jesse.
Who is this?
I'm his little brother.
Your name is Little Brother?
13?
No.
What's your first name?
Jalen.
Hey, Jalen, you 13?
I'm 14, actually.
Yeah, you sound older than 13. But go ahead. What's your question for me?
All right, I think my brother took my words a little out of context.
Uh-huh.
Beta.
That's right, Beta. That's why it's best to hear from the horse's mouth, not somebody else.
Yeah, I just seen some clips on YouTube of that might have swayed me to believe that you dislike Muslims because when you were speaking with Hassan, you said some out of context things that what's it called? It swayed me to believe that you didn't like Muslims.
You mean our Hassan here?
Huh?
The
liberal.
Hassan Piker.
Oh, what did I say to him that made you think that? He was on the fallen state, right?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
You said Allahu Akbar, and then Hassan said that just means God is great, and you said no, that's what they say before they blow up buildings.
Yeah, every time I hear them out there and go Allahu Akbar, I get behind a rock because I know something about to go off here. Have you ever seen them do that?
No, I've never seen them do that.
You never seen them just before they blow up themselves or somebody, they go Allahu Akbar, and then the bomb goes off.
Never in person.
But you've seen it. I've never in person, thank God. But you've seen it in the media, right?
Yeah, I've seen it.
And so if you were walking down the road and all of a sudden you heard Allahu Akbar, what would you do?
I'd get behind a rock.
Well, that's right. But no, I love the Muslim. I know that all of them don't think that way, and I know that they're lost too, like all human beings, until they return to the Father.
Mm.
So have you forgiven your mother, Jaden? I mean, I forgot your name.
Jalen.
Galen? Jalen, have you forgiven your mother?
Yeah.
You went to her?
I've never really like disliked her to begin with. I've never really had hatred towards her.
Oh, she never got on your nerves at all?
Not to the extent where I had to like hated her. You know what I mean?
She got on your nerve a little bit?
Like a little bit, yeah. Sometimes.
Like how, for an example?
She would maybe like couldn't take the time out of her day to play a game with me, but it was when I was a little younger.
Right.
And I would get mad.
And you would get mad.
Mm-hmm.
And so, do you still have anger?
No.
Good, man. Have you forgiven your father?
Well, I've never really talked to him for a while, so I guess I haven't.
He doesn't live with you?
No.
And so, why don't you talk to him?
I don't really know where he is, so.
You don't know where he is?
Nope.
Do you want to know?
Yeah.
Why don't you ask your mother to tell you?
She's not gonna do it.
Why not?
Because she probably dislikes him, or she doesn't know.
But if she doesn't do it, she's evil for keeping you away from your father, because that emptiness you have is, as you get older, it's going to only get worse. And that emptiness is a yearning for the love of the Father. And you need to know your Father, unless he doesn't want to talk to you, and talk to him and find out what happened, so you cannot be angry at him. And then you will have an amazing life. But if you don't, as you get older, you're going to find yourself getting worse in life.
Yeah, I know what you mean.
So you should find him and just find out what happened, and then forgive him for not being there.
Justin, or Jesse.
Yeah.
If one last thing, if you had to give like one last bit of advice to me, a 14-year-old, what would it be?
Never, ever, ever, ever be angry at anyone about anything. Speak up, but don't be angry, and you will have a natural, amazing life. It will be perfect. Don't take anything personally. Speak up, but just never be angry. There's never a reason to give in to anger.
Yeah, I understand.
Are you doing the silent prayer?
No. I'm not a Christian, so I don't do the silent prayer.
It's for everybody, not just. Are you an Allahu Akbar person?
No, I'm not.
Are you a Catholic?
No, I believe that there is a God. I just don't know which one yet.
Oh, okay. Do the silent prayer so you will know for sure, for yourself. Not because I said it or anyone else said it. Do the silent prayer.
Okay.
And let me know how it goes.
I will.
Tell your brother to show you, but you can go to rebuildingaman.com/prayer.
Hey, thank you, Jesse. I'm not gonna lie, you answered my first kind of. Thanks so much, man.
You're welcome. You guys stay with it and work on yourself. I'm telling you, you will have an amazing life. You're still young, and God is with you, and things will only get better if you stay with the prayer and just drop the anger.
Amen, bro. And Jesse, I just want to say you're kind of like the dad we never had, bro. I'm not gonna lie.
Right on. Right on. Well, stay with the prayer and don't get angry. Call me again, man. It was fun talking to you guys.
All right, love you, man.
You too. Bye now. Amazing. Allahu Akbar. It's good talking to guys. Young guys working on themselves.
Yeah, that's why I was saying Gen Z, they have a good chance of catching it because, like I said, he's 17 and they're 14, but you can tell that they're themselves. They're not trying to be like nothing else.
They both are Gen Zs?
Both Gen Z, yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, Gen Z is catching on a lot quicker.
That give me hope.
Yeah.
The right kind of hope. I have to be careful now with the word hope.
Yeah. The conscious hope.
Yeah. That was a deep meeting yesterday, huh?
Oh, my. Church was really good. I meant to tell you, too. It was really, really good yesterday.
It was like a blessing coming home, going north, 90 miles an hour. Did you understand when he said that he doesn't have that charisma to talk to the girls like he used to?
Yeah.
Isn't that amazing?
Yeah.
That goes to show you God never meant for men to have that.
Yeah.
Because why would he take that away from him? It's all ego.
And that's the charisma thing only serves the women.
Yes.
It has nothing to do with the men.
Nothing at all. The
Yeah,
man
deep.
power is his natural strength. His perfect love.
Yeah.
And that draws everything onto him.
Yeah, and the women go to the men when they just
They
not
go
trying.
nuts for it.
Exactly.
Well, you're saying men shouldn't have Rizz?
You don't even know what it is.
Now I do. No, they should not have charisma.
Interesting.
Do you have charisma?
I got a lot of Rizz.
Oh no, Lord.
I'm Rizzed up.
So you all mama. Do you have charisma, Hake?
Unfortunately,
Really? What does it feel like?
it feels great.
What does it feel like, Hassan?
Man, I love Rizz.
What does it feel like? How would you describe it?
You can put everybody on camera.
It feels like
You ain't got something to do.
it just takes me a second.
Yeah, well,
Here we go.
Give him a chance, coach.
he went to a black school.
I think so.
I went to Joel school.
Yeah, right. What does charisma feel like inside of you, Hassan?
You know, just like light of the world, salt of the earth.
What? Charisma is not light of the world.
I don't know. I mean, I think you got Rizz. You got Rizz.
I rebuke you.
No.
He's putting up the cross. Two fingers
Yes, you
in
got
the cross.
Rizz. I actually just
I promise
learned.
you, I ain't got no ring.
I just learned Rizz last week from Hake,
Oh, really?
which is not a good sign. I don't
No,
know. But
it's not.
but anyway, yeah,
So you can't describe what it feel like?
yeah. Rizz is like salt,
What?
like
Flavor.
vibes.
Yeah, it's like game. It's like game.
Oh, you
No,
can't.
no, not just game. Like you know, you're the life of the party. You got the Rizz.
So the egos.
No, it's not necessarily. It's not. It doesn't have to be just ego. I don't think. I think it's the light of the world.
How do you
Earth.
know when you have it?
Well, you know,
How?
like basically, you just know, like
How?
how do you? Because everyone else knows that you got the Rizz.
But how do you know you have it?
Because you can tell that everyone else knows that you got the Rizz.
It's like a glow.
It's like a glove. See?
What it look like?
Yeah, it's a spirit. It's a
Are
fruit.
you like glowing right now?
It's the fruits of the spirit.
Glowing
What?
from the spirit within.
Yeah, it's the
Satan-
fruits of the Holy Spirit.
Big
Rizz is
Y'all
one
make
of the
me nervous
fruits.
saying that about God.
Big Bump says Satan has Rizz.
Evidently.
Yeah.
Because God ain't got no wrist.
Oh.
Nah, I think we're just looking at it wrong.
And how do you know you have a hate?
I just know.
What it
I
feel like?
Bright and bubbly and appealing.
Satan made a fool out of y'all. Y'all calling that the Holy Spirit.
I'm
You
not
have it
calling
too?
it-
It's some
I
spirit.
know how to turn it on. I definitely know how to turn it on.
So you have it?
Yeah.
When I come back, tell me quickly what
Okay.
it feel like.
Okay.
And then we're going to get some more calls and super chats and everything. Back in a moment.
All right.
We have a counseling service, and I have to admit,
thanks to God. It is the best counseling service on this side of heaven. I counsel with men and women, families, individuals around the world. Most people are unhappy, they're miserable, they have rough lives, they're depressed, suicidal, young and old, of all races. I understand, I know why, and I do understand it. Because exactly what's happening in me is happening with everybody outside of me, inside of them. And I've noticed that with those who really, really, really want to understand, they overcome it just like that, out of one counseling session. If you need counseling, you can go to rebuildingtheman.com or call 800-411-2663. 800-411-BOND. Best counseling service on this side of heaven. All right, a couple announcements. The Hake report is coming up at 9 a.m. this morning. Merry Christmas to you all out there. Thank you all for this whole support this year. TheHakeReport.com from 9 to 11. And then at 12 noon, the American Anchor Baby. The American Anchor Baby at 12 noon. Flying high on natural energy. Give it to him, by God. You don't want to miss it. And it's the end of the year, so don't forget to donate to Bond and to our cause here. It's a tax write-off if you donate to Bond by going to rebuildingtheman.com, rebuildingtheman.com, or call 800-411-BOND. And I appreciate it. We have helped y'all, so you got to help back. I appreciate it, all right? And for personalized shout-outs, birthdays, encouragements, congratulations, Merry Christmas, Happy New Year. Whatever the occasion is, I do them for you go to Cameo, cameo.com/Jesse Lee Peterson, cameo.com/Jesse Lee Peterson for personal shout out. So I just want to get rid of this Rizz thing. They have taken the Rizz out of charisma. What the? And we're discussing that briefly, and then we're going to do some more phone calls and super chats and all of that. So, hey, you say you have Rizz.
Yep.
Which used to mean charisma. And how do you know you have it? What does it feel like?
It feels like everything's going my way. You know, it's a nice day, and I'm happy.
That's charisma?
I mean, yeah.
And do you get girls with your Rizz too?
Maybe, sometimes.
You use it for that?
It's not like I use it for that. It brings them unto me.
What? Sean, my producer, just gave me a definition of Rizz. This is from Indian Express. It refers to a person's ability to attract a romantic partner through style, charm, or attractiveness.
Yep.
Yeah. So Rizz is
you have it.
Yes, I definitely.
You have Rizz.
I know how to turn it on. I know how to turn it on for sure.
You turn it on and off.
Yeah. Because what it is just a power of it's so. In the sense of what Hassan's saying too, it's a power of influence. That's all it is. Is like females often use this same type of power to allure women onto them.
Allure women?
I mean, men onto women too. to lure women onto them. So it's
But
just a
that's
power.
evil.
It's a power of influence, but
That's
it
an
doesn't.
evil spirit.
Not
But women
necessarily,
have
though.
no Rizz.
But not necessarily
Women don't
though.
have it.
Women, it's
But-
very hard to find a woman
but
with
if
He
Rizz.
said women have it.
I'm saying that they have what the essence of it is the power of influence. But what Rizz is, which is Gen Z made this up, is a type of like flavor men have. Like I guess so, a flavor that men have to speak to women in such like. But it comes from the same place, which it's ego.
Hell.
But it's not just. But it's not
But it's
just
the power-
about women though. It's not. I don't know why we're making it about women.
It's
Well, Rizz is about women
It
though.
just-
Rizz itself, the word Rizz comes from like talking to women. That's what the Gen Z make
It
it out.
says it refers to a person's ability to attract a romantic partner.
Yeah.
Well, I'm talking about
through
charisma
style,
in
charm,
Yeah.
or attractiveness. What were you about to say?
Yeah, because charisma is a little bit more broad than just that. It's attracting
Right.
crowds,
Yeah, charisma is
A
different.
crowd of broads.
broads
No.
included.
Like,
But Rizz comes. Rizz
Who brought
came-
up broads?
Rizz came from a Gen
You
Z.
said
thing.
about attracting broads.
Oh no, I said it was more broad than just the broads.
Oh. Go ahead, Joe.
But Gen Z took Rizz out of the word charisma and made it more narrow as far as women goes. They made it about women. Charisma, I think what Hassan is alluding to is more so like power of influence. Like you have, I have, whatever. That it's just an ability to know how to turn it on to get people to influence people, and not necessarily in a negative way.
Is it a feeling?
But it.
You
Not
say you turn
necessarily.
it on and off. It has to be a feeling if you turn it on.
No,
and
it's
off.
like- it's-
unless you got
honestly-
some
It's
kind
like
of
a, it's like a,
honestly-
it's like a talent. Go ahead.
yeah.
Go ahead. Hassan.
No, honestly, it's like I know we don't
A
like
gift.
the word leader, but it's a leadership quality. It's like a like Tommy from the Rugrats.
It's like a skill set. It's like a skill
Tommy
Skill
from
set.
set.
the rug rat.
Hassan's
like,
hiding.
someone who's able to
Why is he
like
hiding?
someone who's able to
He
galvanize.
Maybe he don't want to.
No, I did.
There
It's
we
just-
go.
It's hard to switch to that thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, someone who's able
It's
to
I told
hard
you, you gotta
galvanize.
press. You just gotta press A. You ain't never listening to me.
Oh yeah, I know. I do it the old way, old fashioned. But anyway, point is, it's like someone who can galvanize and like Leonardo of the Turtles, Tommy of the
Where's
Rugrats.
Leonardo now?
They're making another film actually. But anyway, yeah, it's just someone who's able to galvanize.
It's a skill set. It's a skill set.
Yeah.
This doesn't make sense to me.
Yeah, Rizz.
But you
You
do it
shuddering?
though. You
Except
do
there
have it.
is.
Huh?
You shuddering?
Yeah. No, it's all evil.
But because it can be exploited. It's been exploited because you have. It's
What if
been
it's-
exploited in an evil way.
Especially when he said you can turn it off and on. So
I know. That's scary.
It cannot be of God if you can turn
I
it off.
disavow
and on.
that.
Yeah, I disavow that too.
Ooh, you've been
You
disavowed.
can't exploit it. But no, like.
But it
Rizz-
can be used for evil. That's
That's
for
what I'm
sure.
saying. Like.
So it ain't from God. Ain't no salt of the earth.
But
no-
all men can turn
No,
it on
but-
and
But
off.
capitalism can be used for good and evil. There's all
But
kinds
what
of
does
things
that have
that
to
are-
do with risk?
because
A
it's
lot.
just a tool. It's like a gun can be used for good and evil, but guns are from God. So is
Exactly.
Rizz.
But I don't know about the word Rizz. I think we're all messed
I
up.
like James's take.
Charisma, yeah, but not Rizz. Rizz is used for negative.
So, Joe, you turn yours off and on.
I can turn mine on and off and on. Like
when
say
you
if I
know
like
you
okay, so
need
for
it.
example, I'm gonna tell you. If I
Okay.
see like a girl like at the gym or I see anywhere,
Right.
like I know how to turn it on. Right, but without
What'd
having
you
to
say?
say anything.
Rizz it up.
Without having to say anything though. I know how to like get them attracted.
But that sounds like a woman. That's the
I know
game
how to
women play
allure.
on men.
I know how to allure. That's what I'm saying. It came from women tend to use that to get men to do that, but I know how to use it.
So why did he call
to
it salt of the
reverse
earth and the thing of God?
Because I'm not referring to women with it. I don't think charisma has. It can be used for women, but I don't think that that's solely what charisma is for. I think charisma is to be able to, get people interested and to give a message, to be, Now, it can be evil, like Obama or different people can be charismatic and do it in the wrong way. But there's all, like Trump has Rizz. Trump is the Rizz king.
Ted Bundy had Rizz. Says
He had
Rich.
it in the Gen
No,
Z.
Did Jeffrey Dahmer have risk?
with the black man.
Yeah. His Rizz was different.
2 hoops and a holler for becoming Jeffrey Dahmer. With all this Rizz. It don't mean a thing if you ain't got that Rizz. Let me go to Nick out of Amsterdam. He has Rizz, I'm being told. Nick.
Jesse.
You have Rizz?
No, I didn't say that. I just wanted to get in on the debate.
Oh, okay.
But I used to have Rizz for sure.
And what was it?
So I can. Best way to describe it would be it's a way of flirting or seducing the opposite sex.
Yeah.
Meaning women.
Right.
Yeah.
And you don't have it now?
No, not anymore.
And what happened to it?
I think God took it away.
And so how do you feel about that?
Good. Or, it had to happen, to be honest, because I think it's, like you said, it's evil. It sounds evil. I think Jeffrey Dahmer had it as well.
Oh, no.
And it's just, it's a way of making someone feel good with your words.
Oh.
But it's fake.
It's seduction.
It's
He's
all
right.
fake.
He's right.
And so you be turning your Rizz on at the gym?
I can, for sure.
So you still have it then?
Right. It's like a
power. Why do you get rid of it?
I can, but it's an ego thing. Like it's like a power of it's a way of seduction without having to actually say it.
But you have a natural power from God. You don't to do anything.
Right.
But it's fun. Your energy draws the woman.
Yeah, but it's fun to do. That's why it's a thrill. It's a thrill.
So you serving God and your Rizz.
Plead the fifth.
But Jesse, can I say one more thing?
Yeah.
With regard to the Rizz and getting rid of it.
Yeah.
I've noticed that I've drawn women that are way more beautiful than I ever could draw. When having Rizz.
Yes, sir.
And they automatically are willing to obey me. And I don't have to Rizz them up for it. I can just kind of be myself and be honest.
Yeah.
And sometimes it's weird because I have to get used to the fact that I'm not trying to seduce them and I'm not trying to sleep with them. So I'm kind of getting used to that. That's a bit of a strange feeling. Last night I had a date, beautiful girl. She made dinner. We had a great time. And then she kind of never made a move, but she kind of pulled me into her bedroom.
And did you Rizz
which
her
was
up?
odd. No, I didn't. Even though, no, I didn't. I went home eventually. Long story short,
right on.
I didn't do anything. Yeah, so that was a weird feeling for me because I used to be, Rizzy,
a Rizzler,
and beta.
So, what would you suggest to Joel, who is still turning his off and on?
I mean, he sounds like he's aware of that fact, which really should tell you all you need to know.
Well, he seemed to like it.
Well, yeah, I get that too. Just be aware of the fact that you like it and see why you like it, I guess. I think that's what you should be asking yourself.
And how about Hassan? Hassan, I think it's the salt of the earth and the walk of the world.
Hassan's a whole different story. No, I'm kidding. I love Hassan. I love Joel. I love them all. Shout out to you guys.
Right.
But, I think just keep following Jesse's advice. Get to know yourself. The best thing.
Nick, thank you so much for your input on that, man. Are you a millennial?
Yeah. I'm 27, so I think, I'm not sure, I might be on the
Is that millennial?
edge.
Not sure. It could be Gen Z or it could be millennial. Let me check.
It sounds like a Z, because Joel said Gen Z got more sense than millennials.
Yeah, kinda.
Yeah, I definitely don't feel like a millennial. Or Gen Z, really.
He's the youngest of the millennials. 27 to 42 is millennial. Allegedly, according to this Google, which is evil.
Nice. Nick, thank you for that input, man, all the way from Amsterdam. I appreciate it.
Perfect. Thank you. Keep up the show. Great show.
Thank you, buddy. Amazing. So, are you, in closing, so I can get back to these cars, are you going to hold on to your little...
No, I mean,
turn it off and
I definitely
on?
recognize...
That's...
He's right. Niggas 100% around everything you just said. It's a power of seduction, and I'm glad you used that word seduction instead of like influence, because all these things make it sound better. Seduction is it's control, and yeah, I definitely see it. It's negative, but I've always seen it. I know how to use it. But I watch it.
Hassan, you gotta hold on to your little Rizz.
Absolutely. And anyone who's making Rizz about women or seduction don't got no Rizz.
And you said it's about what?
It's not about women at all.
What is it about?
Just your overall being of who you are. You either are him or you're not. That's Rizz.
And where you get that definition from?
Because that's been my life. My life's been rizzed up.
Oh.
But making it about women is silly.
Nick said, I thought he just learned this word.
I did.
Just last week.
But I did last week.
You just learned that word.
Or 2 weeks ago,
From
maybe.
James.
So how do you know what it means then?
Because charisma.
But that's what you mean. But Rizz is not. Rizz doesn't mean what you mean.
Oh, well, then I don't know anything about Rizz. I just know.
You just claimed it.
Yeah, anyway.
And now he's just.
I know about
distancing.
charisma.
Charisma is a different thing.
Oh, well, I don't know. I thought it was just a short, like a nickname for it.
Are you still going to hold on to your little Rizz?
No, I don't hold on to anything. It
Lord.
it has me. It holds on to me.
Your Rizz?
Yeah.
And did you always call it Rizz, or you used to call it charisma?
I don't even like the word.
I
Rizz,
always
but-
called
Man,
it
that
Rizz.
sound right.
I called it Rizz before the Gen Zers were born.
Oh, you did?
No, I'm just kidding. I learned it last week with Hassan.
Oh, you did?
So,
Yeah.
wait, Jesse, for full understanding, is charisma evil?
Yeah. Anything that would awaken emotions are evil. Is evil. Because emotions are not of God. And when you really return to the Father, just think about this, Hassan. The ego is dying to fate you. Emotions, thoughts, and all that is dying. There's nothing left. So that means that you are identified with anything because you have nothing to identify with. But I think what you're trying to say, it is that. A person of a free person.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think that's what you mean, right?
Yeah. Yeah, because if I could say the last thing, is that the definition of there is a way to be all those things without it being in the ego way. Like the natural way of God is energy and light and influence, but without trying is what you're saying.
Right.
Yeah.
You don't even think of it. It's not even thinking about it.
But there's also
because
a false
all
way.
thinking stop when you return to the Father. You live a non-thinking life.
Yeah, I agree.
Because Got Your Six in the chat says he turns lesbian straight with his Rizz.
Ooh.
What?
He's turning lesbians straight with his Rizz.
What does that mean?
But
he turned a lesbian woman straight?
Yeah.
How?
With his Rizz.
Oh, God, I hate to take that subject. Okay. Thank you for saying that, but Okay. Last word.
No, there's a true way to do all things, and there's a false way, and the true way is overcoming all the Rizz and stuff, and you actually have the natural energy, like you're saying, to do all the things in the right way, and it won't be weird and seductive.
You say?
Nice.
You say, Hassan?
I think that it's interesting how we perceive ourselves differently than maybe how people perceive us, and it reminds me of the Bible when like Matthew or Thomas or whoever, they perceive Jesus in a certain way, but it doesn't mean that he said that this is who I am.
That's
it's just
right.
how people perceive them. So like even me throwing Rizz on you or saying you have it's funny how people can put labels on people, or that's how they perceive them.
Yeah.
And and then it because people perceive you a certain way, then you start to think, oh, well, maybe, I guess people think I have Rizz. I'm a Rizzy guy. So then you start to live in this world that people have put on you. So it's fascinating.
Even Jesus' mama Mary perceived him in the wrong way. I guess you tried to put some Rizz on him.
But he had Rizz. Anyway.
All right, let me go to, and then we'll take some super chat. Eric, out of California. Eric, welcome to the show. You're on the air.
Thank you, Jesse.
You're welcome, Eric.
So I've been doing the silent prayer for a couple of weeks now, and I think I am noticing some improvements, but I don't know, after I get out of the prayer, the devil starts attacking me pretty hard, and, you know, by the end of it, by the end of most days, I'm pretty angry and suicidal until I do the silent prayer again. So I was wondering, like, maybe if there's something else I could focus on or something else I should do every day.
Absolutely. The one thing you should do 1,000 times a day, if you need to, stop identifying with the thoughts that the devil give you when you do after you do the silent prayer, and he start telling you, this is to feel this way, to think this, whatever he's telling you, and you're believing it because you identify with the feelings. From this point forward, Eric, don't identify with thoughts and feelings at all, because it's not you at all. It's just the spirit of evil trying to convince you that is you, because it doesn't want you to die from that false identity of its nature. So it's not you. Just stop thinking that it's you. And if you feel whatever you're feeling, just know you had a thought first and you didn't see it, and now you have the feeling, and relax and let it pass. Stay present by being aware of your body and let it pass. Don't fight with it. Don't communicate with it. Just watch it.
To just be the observer.
That's all you have to do. And eventually, I promise you, you're going to see that it's not you. But it's just this thing that made a home in your mind and body, and all your life you've been identified with it, thinking that it was you. So you built a false foundation around it, which is a house built on sand. It's not you.
I agree. But I have, it seems, trying to live my whole life up until I started watching your show, basically doing the opposite of what you say. So, yeah, it can be hard to, I don't know, get out of those mind loops.
Right. You can't get out of them of yourself. But what you have now, you have the light, the love, the nature, the energy of God working on your behalf. And that darkness inside of you, which are thoughts and feelings, the intellect, it hate the light that's inside of you. And so all the thrills and the feelings you're feeling is that is the darkness dying, and it doesn't want to die. And it feels like it's you. It's trying to get you to overreact, to do something to keep it alive. But it's not you at all.
So do you think that dark feelings are a thing that, like, slowly lessen over time?
100%. It will, if you just watch it, and even if you have to say to yourself, what's that thought? What's that feeling? That's not mine. That's not me, right? It will weaken and get weaker. It gets weaker. It gets weaker, and then it has to depart from you.
All right. Well, thanks a lot. I think that'll help.
If you have any more questions about it, call me.
Thank you very much.
All right. Just know it's not you, though, Eric. It's not you. I got to take a break. 888-7753-773. Hake is coming there with the Hake News. One more hour to go, and I'll be back in a moment. Straight to your phone calls and super chats. Back in a moment. Steve, thank you for calling and thanks for holding. How have you been helped by the show?
I'm going to tell you this. I believe you might go down in history as one of the greatest, if not the greatest, black man that ever lived on planet Earth, as far as I'm concerned. I don't know anybody before you that's been that great. You know, freeing the slaves is one thing, but you've been freeing people of their mind, which matters, it should be anyhow, to you more than anything else, because with the mind not being right, there ain't nothing else going to happen right anyway.
If you can doubt every thought, because you're not your thoughts, if you can doubt every thought
knowing that you're not your thoughts, you don't create them, they're not from God, that they're from the deceiver, the great deceiver, Satan. If you can doubt every thought, you can be free, just like that. At an instant. Bring every thought into captivity. It's so amazing.
A whole lot of mess going on in the world. This is the end of hour 2 already of the Jesse Lee Peterson Show. Stay tuned for hour 3. JLP will be right back to your calls. There is one line open. You can call in right now. During Hake News, not fake news. It is Monday, December 11th, 2023 AD. 2 weeks till Christmas. At least American Christmas. Rest in peace, as I said last hour, to Frank Wycheck, former NFL Pro Bowl tight end, whatever that means. Frank Wycheck died Saturday after a falling accident. He fell accidentally, his family announced. He was 52 years old. Wycheck was one of the key players in the Music City Miracle, a legendary football player that won a postseason game for the Tennessee Titans in the year 2000. Wow. The Music City Miracle was chosen in 2019 as the 4th greatest play in league history, according to CNN, Commie Nonsense Network. Also nonsense, anti-Semitism, no such thing. CNN reports. University President University of PA, Pennsylvania, UPenn. President Liz McGill, MAGILL, announced Saturday she's stepping down after facing criticism. She's the white one, right? Over the school, supposedly white, over the school's response to rising anti-Semitism, no hyphen, all one word, to make it seem real. Several moments led to McGill's resignation, including the decision to allow a Palestinian literature festival on campus with a highly controversial guest. UPenn, Harvard University, and MIT faced enormous backlash from high-profile donors after presidents from all 3 schools gave widely criticized testimony to the House of Republicans and Representatives, in which they failed to condemn calls for the genocide of Jews as explicitly against campus harassment and bullying codes. Bullying codes? Now that McGill has stepped down, the spotlight has turned to her counterpart from Harvard, Claudine Gay. But she's black, so she may skate and get away with it. We'll see. We'll see. Ukraine propaganda, your daily dose. It's been a while, huh? This lame-o fake president, Sleepy Joe Biden, corrupt, crooked Joe Biden. Fake because he's a phony politician, not because he's not the legitimate president. He's the legitimate president. Will host Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky, not a Christian, at the Black on the Inside White House this week. Discussions for a Ukraine aid deal remain stalled in Congress. The Senate has struggled for weeks to reach an agreement as top Republicans insist any aid package for key U.S. allies, including Israel and Ukraine, I guess they're key somehow, be tied to reformed U.S. immigration and border security policies, because we have a mess at the border, and it's bled well into the country for decades, and it's really bad right now under Obama Part 3. Lawmakers working against the clock to end the impasse before they leave town for the holidays, holy days, next week. Senate Majority Leader Chuck Schumer, not a Christian, and Minority Leader Mitch McConnell, I'm not sure if he's a Christian, have invited Zelensky to speak Tuesday at an all-senators meeting where he will call on the United States to renew support for Ukraine's defense against Russia and keep the killing going. ChatGPT is 75% wrong. CNN reports ChatGPT's accuracy, 25%, when researchers posted a series of medical questions to the artificial intelligence AI tool in a new study. Sometimes the chatbots even furnished dangerous advice, like approving the combination of 2 medications that in practice could have serious adverse reactions. And speaking of medicine, sickle cell treatment, approved sickle cell treatments. Over the weekend, the ladies at the Skim Report, the FDA approved the first CRISPR, C-R-I-S-P-R, all caps, gene editing therapy for the rare blood disorder sickle cell. Kazkevi allows doctors to go into patients' DNA and tweak bits that lead to sickle cell disease. 100,000 Americans, roughly, suffer from the genetic condition, disproportionately affects blacks. FDA has signed off on Lifegenia, which, I don't know. It's a bunch of mess. I'm James Hake. Now back to JLP, Hour 3.
Somewhere in the world today, men have got to stand up strong, face the truth about themselves, to understand what went wrong. I know we can find a way. I know we can find a way. I know we can find a way to stand up. Stand up. Stand up.
Uniting the races with truth instead of dividing them with lies. We're also rebuilding the family by rebuilding the man. I'm Jesse Lee Peterson. Welcome to the third hour of the show already. You can get involved by calling 888-7753-773, 888-77-JESSE. Brand new biblical question. Brand new. Do you worship yourself? Do you worship yourself? Do you? Do ya? Do ya? Do you want to dance with me, baby? Do you worship yourself? We have every way that you can watch and support the show listed there on JesseLeePeterson.com/show. And if you're out and about, and you're too busy to watch the show anywhere in the world, because we are heard around the world by everybody and their mama, you could be listening to the show on your iPhone or iPad by calling the listen line at 641-793-1500, 641-793-1500. Follow us on social media, cozy.tv/JLP and JLP Talk on X. Like, ring the bell, do everything. Subscribe. All right? And to donate and have your comments read out loud, go to buymeacoffee.com/JLP Talk or rebuildingtheman.com. Let me go back to the busy phone, and then, hey, we got to get to some super chats and everything here. Let me go to Karina. Karina. Out of Louisiana. Karina, welcome to the show. You're on the air.
Hey, Jesse. How are you?
All is well. How are you?
I'm doing all right.
Good.
I just wanted to call. I've been listening to you. Sometimes I, have urges to call, but I listen to it, and it lines up every time with what I'm going through, right? I forget my mom and my dad. I'm living by myself. Everybody, I had caught everybody, but it still makes me feel like, like the dying thing. But it's just like, I just don't know, like, to go sometimes about it, or even when it comes to, I'm not searching for somebody, but it comes to, I guess, how I present myself, like I guess give a hint, and I get flirted, but I'm like, okay, I see what people are dealing with. Like, I don't know, it's so clear to me to see that even, like the men following the women or stuff like that. Like, I work at a retail store, so it's like I just see it really vividly.
Yeah. That's what happens when you wake up and you see what's going on inside of you. You're going to see what's going on inside of everyone. You see clearly what's really, really going on. And that is amazing because that's God's love for us so that the world won't overtake us. Evil won't overtake us.
Why do I feel the sadness when I see that, though?
And who is feeling this?
Me.
And who is you? Who are you? Who is you?
It's hard. It's like the person that...
Who is you?
Like, the person that is in this body. I'm just a soul. That's what I'm saying. It's so hard to see. It's like so difficult because I live my life so different. And now that, like, I was searching, really in my heart searching. And then now that I see it, it's just so hard.
Who is the soul that feels sad? I mean, who is the person that feels sad?
The person that I lived all my life, that it was wrong, like the not me.
Right.
I call it like the not me and the real me.
And so why do you say I feel sad when you know it's not you that's feeling sad? That's that false nature, because it wants you to say I feel sad so that you can continue to identify with it so that you won't die from it. And in order to live, you must die, meaning that all identities must die. So never say, I feel sad, unless you're consciously just trying to communicate, right? But don't identify with sadness. It is not you. I promise you, it's not you.
Right, but that's what I'm saying. When it comes to communicating with people, for them to understand, understand me or understand what I'm trying to say. You see what I mean? Like, every time if I talk to somebody, right? Like, I go through it by myself. Like, no, I barely, I will say, like, the only person that I talk to is my dad. And because, I live without him for so long, then now it's like, it's kind of like I can see the same that he wants my attention because he haven't had it, right?
Right. Yeah.
And I get to see that in a way, not control me, but trying to tell me advices that, it would be helpful long time ago, and I try to, tell him and kind of like, well, not tell him, but for him to understand and he sees it. But at the same time, it's like that communication of just, having, I guess, that person to talk to.
I understand. Here's what I know what you mean. It's not easy to find people around you in your circle that understands where you're coming from, so it's difficult to speak the real truth with them, a real talk. But here's what I recommend. I highly, 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 highly recommend. Never, ever, 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 never, never, never try to get anyone to understand. Either they see it or they don't see it. Because most people, don't want to see it. They love their false identities. They love their revenge. They love their jealousy. They love their gossip. They love their fear. They love their misery. And they don't want to see it. And so God just leaves them in the darkness without forcing or imposing on them. I highly recommend you do the same. Either they see it or they don't. If they don't want to hear it, don't impose it. If they don't want to see it, don't impose it at all. You're on the right track.
Right. See, and then that, like, listening to this show and stuff, like, I overcame certain things. Like, I used to date women, I used to live that life. So he turned me, right? Like, he turned me, and then now I used to not feel scared because I was like, I took more like my grandpa's role because he was the one in my life. So I wasn't as scared, but then now it's just kind of like me adventuring sometimes. It's just kind of like, it sets me back to not want to go anywhere because not that I feel threatened, like somebody's going to do something to me, right? And I mean, I can take precautions, like, I don't know, take a machete with me or something, but it's just like that. Like, I want to enjoy life, right? Like, I want to go out since I'm not, nobody, I don't have a string attached to nobody.
Right on.
Like, I want to go out, but it's like, at the same time, I understand me as I understand myself, but at the same time, I see it clearly that, yeah, I do need a man, like, even in my apartment, if something is messed up in there, I will have to call somebody,
Right. Well, listen, that's beautiful that you're no longer a lesbian because you were never a lesbian. It was another false identity that came from resentment, from anger. It was the nature of evil making a home in you, telling you, and then the world confirming it that it was you. It was never you. I'm dealing with a group of people underground right now, men and women, that are dealing with that. They think they didn't want to be that, so they fought it for a long time. And then the world told them, oh, it's okay, that's who you are. And they still, even though they tried to accept it, they still didn't find comfort in it. Now they're starting to hear the message that that's not them. It's just another false identity. And God said that in order to live, we have to die from all identities, all ideas and all identities. And so if you just stay on this track, doing the silent prayer and watching, I'm telling you, when you need a man for the right way and the right reason, it will happen. It's going to be like, the word magic is the only word I can think of, but it's beyond magic. It will be provided for you. And the fact that you can't really just go out in the world and have fun now like that old way, it's two things are happening. You're dying from the false you, and you're overcoming the world. And eventually, you're going to be in the world, but not of it. It's going to be amazing. You'll be by yourself, and you will enjoy being by yourself as much as you would if you had 1,000 people around you. It's going to be amazing.
Right. I mean, I see it, and sometimes when it comes to thoughts like that, what I do, I just hop on the road and do deliveries just to keep my mind, I guess.
No, when those thoughts come, don't run away from them. Don't fight with them. Don't face it. All you need to do is to see them. And God wants you to see them so you will know it's not you, so you can continue to die, so you can be resurrected. You can live. You have to face it. Just face it. If it's boredom, if it's loneliness, if it's anger, if it's fear, if it's depression, if it's whatever, you want to see it so you can stop identifying with it and die from it. And the real you, as you're dying from the not you, the real you coming to the forefront, and there are no words to express who you really are. It's going to be amazing.
Right. Because, see, I feel sometimes, that's when it comes to, like claiming it. I don't want to claim it, but it's like when it comes to expressing, it's like I guess the loneliness of never being wanted. And then now that it's like I'm not wanted anyway,
Right.
So it's like that comes out.
Well, in this world, and we talked about it earlier with the experts when we show a guy called KevSoLitty, and he was talking about the struggle with a life that's meaningless, struggling with relationships, dealing with parents. All that stuff is just pure evil, and there is no life in that. That's why it doesn't work. You want to die from that, and then you will have real life, which only comes from the light from God. Nobody loved nobody in this earth. There is no such thing as love on this earth. It only comes from God.
See, that's why the whole renewing the mind, because being told certain things from littles is like we're trying to, I guess, see life how you're told, and it's just so that's why the whole, I guess, fake identities of words like love and all that is just so confusing now, because it's like you before, that's what you were searching all the time, and at the time it was working, right? But then something will happen. It's like going, like you say, going to hell and then a little bit good and then going still in hell. And it's like I see as in, because I did before, me listening to these days on your show in the service, I seen that that's what I did before too, like crying to God, right? And then it made me think of he fixed it, because it gave me the option just to get out or the door, right? It's like he was showing me, okay, this is the door, now get out. And then something will happen, and then I will get out. And I will come back and like that. So now it's like I came to the state of Louisiana and I started to get close to the people at the church. But then now even coming back, because I left because of how, they're not really seeing, and they would tell you, oh, no judgment, right? But there is judging.
Yeah.
So it's like going back, or just because I was just curious, and then I even shouldn't done that, because it gave me, again, clarity and clarification that they know about him, but they don't know him.
Yes. They have the intellectual knowledge of him, but they don't know him at all.
Right. And then if you try to tell them, they don't understand. So it's like, so that's why I was like, okay, I think I just need to sit down and then just like cry if I have to cry, or or so, because it's like I feel like water boiling, and that's what it makes me come out, or that come out.
Well, whatever happened, you just observe it happening, and don't call it you. Are you doing the silent prayer every morning, every night?
I do try to stick with it, but it's the same, tells me, but I'm going back, like, it takes me off for like a day or so, and then I go back again. It's kind of like, that's what I noticed, that it want to get me off, like, it don't want me, like, it don't want to leave.
It doesn't. And so that's what, the last thing that the devil wants, the last thing that he wants, he doesn't care about anything else. But the last thing he wants you to do is be still. He does not want you to give up. He doesn't want you to lay your weapons down and stop fighting, because he knows that once you lay your weapon down, stop fighting, he have to depart. He's going to get weaker and weaker. He wants you frustrated. He wants you trying to fight him. He wants you arguing with him in your imagination. He wants that. That's why he doesn't want you to sit still and let go. He would rather that you hoop and holler and pray. Pray, oh God, please help me, save me, and pull pitiful for me, worship the Lord. He doesn't care about you doing any of those things, because he knows you're worshiping him. But to sit and do nothing is the last thing he wants you to do. So you're on your way, Karina, and stay with it. You're doing just fine. It's working. And again, don't try to convince anyone of anything. Don't impose the truth upon anyone. Don't hold it against them if they don't want to hear it. And when that feeling comes that you are alone, you've always been alone. Your fans, your family, your friends, your lesbian friends, they have never been with you. You have always been alone. You just didn't know it. Now you can see it, and now God is with you. You're going to be fine.
Right. I see, when you say that, I get like a flashback, so I see what I always was alone, and then I was dating people just to not be alone.
Yes.
So then now that I can see it, and then it just sets me, you know, where not get disgusted, but it's like I see myself before, and it's like, man, like, was I really that messed up, right? And then now I see it so clearly, and it's like I try not to engage with people because it's like they won't understand.
Right.
You know, like I see it as it happened to me. It like he did that to me, right? Like people will before I woke up, people would tell me, "Oh, you know, if you get close to God, you're gonna turn straight." And it's just things that I was just not, you know. It never. I don't know what people will just blurt things out or say, you know, God will never accept you or so, but they don't get the time to explain that it's not who we are, that He loves us, you know.
That's right.
But we're not who we are, so we have to know ourselves for us to notice that He does love us.
God has never, ever, or His Son Jesus has never, ever, 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 but never, 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 ever, ever, ever looked upon you as a lesbian or anything, or a sinner or a saint or anything. God knows that it was always something driving you in your imagination and in your emotion. He knew it was the devil that made a home in you, and it was the devil that caused you to believe, confirmed by the world, but caused you to believe and do the things you've done. He has never accused you. He has never judged you at all. But the so-called Christian would tell you, oh, you're never going to get to heaven like that. They don't know what the hell they're talking about. They're in hell lying to you because they cannot see.
See, I got that before because, you know, me not knowing, right? Like, I didn't know what I was going through.
Yep.
And one time, you know, because of the church over here, they, like I said, they were not judging. I ended up bringing people that I was dating with, and I even had kids that I was trying to be, you know, like my mentality. That's why it's just so weird how, well, not weird, but it's just everything changed.
Yes.
Like my mentality changed, and I see now how all these women trying to pretend to be a dad for somebody else's kids, you know, it's just, I'm like, well, they need their father, right? Just like I was really yelling for my dad to be in my life.
Yearning for the father.
Right, so that's why I say, like, it's just so hard for me. Well, it's not hard, but it's like I can see what I went through, and then that I'm looking at as in, whoa, they're into something, you know?
Yes.
Like they're bound into something, and they need to see it until they start searching for themselves.
Father, forgive them. They know not what they do. They literally cannot see. And you or I or no one else on earth can make them see. They have to want to see for themselves. And as soon as they want it, they will start to see. When they question, what is really going on with me? They will start to see, and that's when freedom will come. But you can't make them see. But you can be the light. Now that you're overcoming the darkness, you're dying from that dark nature. You're going to rise in the light nature. Some who want the truth will see the light in you, and you'll be able to point them back to the Father. But otherwise, there's nothing you can do.
Right, but then whenever it comes to that, do I just, because, you know, I want to tell my story because, you know, I don't understand, like, how I went through and then now I'm not there. You know what I mean? And I think, like I said, the things that I went through is just giving me, or like you said, is getting me to the right direction. But other people, when you try to tell them, okay, well, like, you got to see that who raised you is the one that messed you up, right?
Right.
Like, and you have to forgive them for messing you up, but then they block themselves or be like, oh, yeah, I forgive them. You know, they will tell me I forgive them already, but they, for example, they're still at their mom's house or something like that.
You know what? When that happens, and you will run into that a lot.
Right.
When that happens, just wish them well in your heart. Wish them well. There's nothing you can do, and leave them in their hell. And don't feel anything. If you feel anything about it, let the feeling pass and die from that feeling. You can't help people until they want it. So when they say, "Oh yeah, I've forgiven my mother," they're lying. They have not forgiven, and the proof is in the pudding. They still have no love. They have no insight because they have not forgiven. So you just say, "Oh, okay, you forgave her, fine," and you go on with your life and leave them in their hell. There's nothing you can do about it.
Right.
Because
it's just
people,
so, you know, like I see.
Like what now?
I was saying, like I see, like they do like it, like they do in a way just for them to be, or they still keep being comfortable just in case if something happens, they have somebody to run to.
Yes. They're still trusting the world and not God. But if you notice, Kareem, God is okay with that. Have you noticed he just leave them right there in their hell? He has no problem with it because he know only a few will get on the straight and narrow. Only a few want to overcome the fallen state. Only a few. Even those that read the Bible and quote the scripture, they have scripture up the yang, they still love the emotions. They love the hell that they live in. And then they love quoting the Bible because they think in their own mind they look good quoting the Bible. And they think you see them in a good way because they're quoting the word. So they're getting all type of thrills both ways. They love living in their hell, another thrill, and they love quoting the Bible, another thrill. It's just all thrills. So leave them in their hell.
Right. I see that a lot of people suggest, right, like for them to come off or, you know, to, I guess, see themselves. They say, oh, you have to get close to God, right?
Right.
But I never understood us in. Well, I'm trying to explain us in how I lived. Like I wasn't always, like I wasn't a Bible thumper. Like
nice.
I heard by my grandparents. They used to take me to church, but to be honest, most of the time I was falling asleep. And then growing up, it wasn't me the same going to or reading the Bible. It was mainly like, I guess, searching a church, but I went through different churches, and it was just, I don't know if it was just because of the lacking of a father, because I used to say, well, if my actual dad, right, don't want me, I know God will want me. So it was always to cry out to him, because I had the lack of a father.
Right.
But
everybody yearn for the father. That's what the problem is.
Right. But see, other people don't see us in like, if you're feeling like that, it's because it comes from the people that make you.
Yes, and the people that tell you that you need to get saved, whatever they tell you, they're lying. They're blind. They can't see either. So wish them well.
Right.
And you go on with your last word because of time. Go ahead. Yeah.
Well, I was just gonna say, so that don't mean nothing, right? Like just being baptized or nothing. It just, this is like seeing that's being reborn, right?
Absolutely. And then seeing you die from that old nature, which is of the devil, that came from the imagination and emotions, and you're coming into the nature of God, which is all light, all love, all peace. It's everything. You'll be fine. It's amazing. And you will have paradise right here on earth. So stay with it. Stay with the prayer. and call me again.
I will. Thank you. I appreciate it. Everything helps. It's been helping a lot.
Right on. Stay with it. Stay with it. Stay with it. All right?
All right.
Amazing. Merry
Thank you.
Christmas.
Merry Christmas to you, too.
Thank you. The treasure chest is now open on D-Live. And I'll be back in a moment to your phone calls and super chats. Check out my book, For Raised to Responsibility. I show you how I was able to overcome anger. The spirit of anger was taken away from me. I had it. And as a result of having anger, I was insecure. I had doubt, worry, fear. I was in a fallen state and didn't know it. And it wasn't until I went and forgave my mother who tried to turn me away from my father. I forgave my father for not being there and returned back to him. My spirit connected with his spirit, and through him, I was able to return to God. And I have perfect peace. Perfect love casts out anger. And when anger is gone, fear and doubt, worry, insecurity, suicidal thoughts, all of that is gone. And you are free. Amazon.com, Barnes & Noble, or if you want an autographed copy, you can go to my website at rebuildingtheman.com or call 800-411-BOND. See, ladies, you have to do the same thing that the men have to do in order to be born again of the Father. You must return to the Father. Ain't no other way around it, ladies. You must forgive your mothers, and you must forgive your father for not protecting you from your mother. And God will forgive you, and you will be on that. You'll get on that path of dying from the ego death. You must die in order to live, meaning that all your identities, stop calling yourself these things. They're not you. You're not a lesbian. You're not anything. You're nothing. So why keep adding labors to yourself? You must die from that in order to have life right here on earth. You don't have to wait to leave the earth to have life. I know a lot of Christians are telling y'all that, but they're lying to you. All in the name. The Hake Report is coming up at the top of this hour. TheHakeReport.com from 9 to 11 a.m. Pacific time. And I would encourage you to go to Hake channel there. I mean, not channel, but what's your thing called? To hear that debate.
You could go to my website or look up my appearances playlist on my YouTube channel.
TheHakeReport.com.
TheHakeReport.com.
It was a very interesting debate on Saturday. Check him out. And then at 12 noon, the American Anchor Baby today, flying high on natural energy from God. At 12 noon, the American Anchor Baby. And he definitely got his Rizz on.
Rizz
on.
Yeah.
You got your Rizz on? His Rizz. But he doesn't need a Rizz. He already have a girlfriend.
Rizz.
I mean a Rizz.
He needs a Rizz to hold on to that girlfriend.
He does.
I'm just imitating Satan in his mind. Maybe.
He said he only have his Rizz on. Rizz. Is it Rizz?
Rizz.
Rizz on when the seatbelt light is on.
Oh, yeah. For his flying high,
oh, yeah.
the seatbelt light turns on, Come on, to coax his passengers back into their seats.
He take these flights every Friday at 4 p.m. Check him out, the American Anchor Baby. And then for counseling, we have the best counseling service on this side of heaven, individual, family, and whatever. Counselors. Go to rebuildingtheman.com to make an appointment or call 800-411-BOND. 800-411-2663. And I am looking for a PR person that knows PR. I can't train anyone, right? You have to know it because the schedule is like overwhelming. And also a front office person that knows accounting. Because we're so busy, I got to now start taking workloads away from people. And we were trying to hold off from doing that because at one time it looked like we were going to be moving to Florida or somewhere. But I can't wait any longer to see what's going to happen with that. So if you're interested, send your resume to bond@bondinfo.org. bond@bond.org. Bond at bond.
INFO.
Bond@bondinfo.org.
Right.
Right?
Yeah.
Bond@bondinfo.org. All right? Let me go to the super chats before I go back to the phones. Super.
Over on buymeacoffee.com, Joe bought 10 coffees, no message. Very generous. Thank you.
Thank you, Joe.
Carter Bird, now a member, monthly supporter on buymeacoffee.com
Thank you, Carter
/JLP
Bird. Amazing.
Says my 4-year-old brother asked to turn on JLP when he goes to sleep.
Amazing. Alpha male.
Retro Memento bought 3 coffees. It's wonderful that swift action has been taken against the colleges when the Jews became targets of their hate. However, it's disheartening when their unabated evil teachings about whites, the police, and other so-called colonists have been allowed to continue on without similar and much-needed condemnation.
I was reflecting on that over the weekend.
Yep.
How this same attack has been and is being for a long time put up on white people. They want the whites dead.
There's no congressional hearings on that.
Right. There are no hearings. Nobody getting fired on anything. Ain't nobody pulling their donations
I know.
to the universities away. Why white life don't value? Has no value. White life really have no value in all of the Western world.
Yeah.
Why is that?
That's the prevailing ways right now.
That's the evil of the world. They don't love. If you don't love all, you love none.
Yeah.
But they don't do that. You don't get any. And we had black university people saying white people just need to die. They need to get done away, or whatever they said.
Yeah.
No outcry. And they still have their jobs.
It's
and
wild.
everybody's still donating to those universities.
Indeed.
How is that godly in the white man's own country? It's not like it's a foreign country.
I know.
It's in the white man's house. But anyway, that shows the evil of human beings.
On a brighter...
Human being hearts are evil. They're not nice people. Okay.
On a brighter note, Retro Memento continues. Thank you, JLP and crew. It's always fun to tune in. Have a very Merry Christmas. And it has a picture of a gal with a Christmas hat on, smiling emoji. Nice.
Thank you, and Merry Christmas to you.
Michael Borley bought 5 coffees, no message.
Thank you, Michael Borley. Amazing.
Gavin from North Carolina bought 5 coffees. Hey, JLP, can I get a beta and fat black lesbians?
Beta! Radical, fat, black lesbian. That's what they call themselves. They say we're lesbians, and they're fat, and they're black. What the? Amazing. Thank you.
Someone bought 3 coffees. Jesse, a couple months ago, you said on the show about how your parents conceived you while standing up on a hot Alabama afternoon. I've decided I will conceive my first child standing up as well because I want to be the father of the first white JLP. Come to think of it, there's already a white JLP, and that's the great white hope, Donald Trump.
Great white hope.
Also, I really want to call in and talk about something in my life, but I'm self-employed and I paint houses. I can't be on hold for 3 hours because I got to get work done. Do you think you could give me some call-in affirmative action and bump me to the front of the line?
Yes.
I've been listening to your show every day for the last year, and it's been the best part of my day, hands down. Thank you and your crew for all you do.
Yes, I will. And when you call in, let the person answer the phone know that, and they'll make a little note, and we can do that. Absolutely. Thank you. And Hassan, did you know that we used to think that you couldn't? I literally grew up that way too, thinking that you could not make a baby standing. So whenever I would have sex with a girl, I never worried when we were standing.
Unbelievable.
I didn't know you could maybe. My father thought the same thing, that you can make a baby standing up. But you can. I'm proof. He was like, tell my mother, no, that's not my baby. We were standing up when we had sex. And he was like, what the? She was like, what the? I'm pregnant. Okay.
Someone bought a coffee, no message, thank you.
I thought that when the man put the seed in there, it's supposed to go in there. But when you stand it, it looks like it'll go down.
Someone's going to try to use this in the court of law.
That's a good... Try that.
Yeah.
Okay.
People are going to try to use this and say, see, we need sex ed in the schools. And I disavow that.
Me too. That's the problem.
Right.
Okay, not the solution.
Someone bought a coffee, no message. Thank you.
Thank you.
Evgeny Crosby with a diamond. Church with Jesse Lee Peterson in one word. Amazing.
Amazing. Let me know how that goes if you make a baby standing or not.
Someone bought 3 coffees, no message.
Thank you.
Greenwald bought 5 coffees. Latin America originally wasn't fond of the modern state of Israel or the rather weak biblical argument for its existence. But fortunately for Israel, the United States spread dispensationalist premillennial evangelism around Latin America and is much more supportive of Israel now. By the way, did you know that Israeli citizens get express service to the Dominican customs, not available to Americans, because of all the weapons their government has given to the Dominican government? That's so amazing.
Amazing. I remember a time growing up when Christians and Jews were one. There was no fight between the Christians and Jews that I was aware of. And I never heard any other older people say it. And it's too bad that for some reason, and I don't know why, that separation is happening. And it's happening in a fast way. Something is up. I really think this whole battle is about going after white people that include white Jews. I don't think it's what we've been told, but maybe. Thank you.
Someone is now a member, monthly supporter.
Thank you.
I'll appreciate all you've done for me. I'm giving back forever.
Right on. Thank you for doing it without having been told to do it. I do appreciate it. Thank you for helping us to help others.
5 coffees from The Key. Hey, Jesse, have you seen 1,000 Words starring Eddie Murphy? The YouTube algorithm led me to watch it over the weekend. It's interesting how this movie portrayed the ego death and the need to forgive your parents and return to the father. Eddie's an intellectual sales marketing broker full of ego. His pursuit of self-glory, his soul becomes tied to the tree of life, literally. He discovers when he speaks, leaves fall from the tree. He can't speak or even write his thoughts. As his story climaxes, he learns that the last leaf falls, he would die. As with the ego death, he battles through his thoughts and gets down to 5 leaves. It shows him battling such evil spirits, anger, addiction, pride, rejection, resentment, judgment, unforgiveness, bitterness, etc. During the spiritual battle, he cannot speak. Rather, he must face the demons in silence because with every word spoken, he is 1 leaf closer to death. Can you guess what his last 3 words were? The conundrum leads him to silence because he needs to examine himself, fear and trembling moment facing his demons. In silence, he discovers his unclean heart, resentment for his mother and father. Long story short, when he forgives his parents, the tree of life restored, plentiful leaves in the fruit. He finds his spiritual freedom through forgiveness and walks into true eternal life right here on earth. Death no longer has its sting. Everything restored to him like Job. It's interesting how the algorithm...
Can we finish this later?
Okay.
We gotta move. You done wrote the whole movie to us. What now?
Come
You
on,
gave
man.
us the movie to play. But thank you. I appreciate it. I'll check it out too. Thank you.
Kid Combo 1.0 with the diamond. Carhartt fired half the staff for not getting the vax. Cool brand.
Amazing.
Emoji.
Thank you.
The Key bought a coffee, a choir selection. In honor of Church with JLP, there's a leak in this old building, and my soul has got to move. My soul has got to move. My soul has got to move.
My soul has been redeemed. Thank you.
WD41 with a diamond. Thanks for the shows.
Thank you.
WD41 with another diamond. Amazing.
Amazing.
Billy bought a coffee. Jesse, why are you identifying with the not you? Remember, you are a spirit. Let go of all identity.
Who said I identify with the not you?
Billy did.
Billy, I don't know what you're talking about. What the? Thank you.
But thank you for the coffee.
Yeah, thank you.
Raul G, 5 coffees. Good job on your debate, Hake. You did really good.
You did.
Also did well. Where would have been perfect if you said the Crusades are painted as Christians killing a bunch of Muslims, but in reality, the Arabs had taken over France and Italy and were making their way through Spain and Germany. The Europeans united under Christianity and were able to push the Arabs back to their own countries.
Amazing. Thank you.
Yeah, I don't know much about history. Thank you.
I don't know much about history. Don't know much about biology. But I do know that I love you. And I know that if you love me too, what a wonderful world this would be. Thank you.
The Key bought a coffee. Remember, the enemy comes like a flood when you're closest to your breakthrough. Stay the course. Our Father said when the enemy comes like a flood, he would rise up a standard against him, his enemies. Raise your consciousness above the thoughts, and the light will be your dam against the forces of evil.
Amazing. Thank you.
Someone bought 5 coffees. Dear caller, asking for reparations. Go ask Africa for reparations for selling their own people, and be grateful for the men who died in the war that freed the slaves. You don't care about freedom. You're not concerned about your job as a citizen. Blacks have had plenty of help. Like everyone else on welfare, more money can't help you. You've been lied to. White people are not in cahoots and don't hate you. Many just want you to grow up.
I'm so sick of the blacks begging, I don't know what to do. Especially black men. I'm trying to get Ron from Texas, because that's who they were referring to.
Yeah.
Just see, Ron, stop begging, stop indicating, stop looking back 1,000 years about, white man got some reparation, we got it too. That is so weak. It's so ridiculous. It's so crazy. Stop it, Ron. And you're supposed to be a white Jew. The Jews don't beg for no money. They got the money. They probably make it. They probably own the print machine.
Probably. The Fed.
Don't you call the print machine?
Oh, I just found it.
It's the print machine, the money-making thing?
Yeah.
Stop begging, Ron. Stop it, man. Just cut that out. Stop looking at... You weren't even back there. And you call yourself a black Jew. What? Thank you.
And slavery was a favor. It's nothing to repair. Anyway.
You better be trying to thank God for slavery. What the? Okay.
Indeed. Someone bought a coffee. What's your stance on kids, Santa Claus, and celebrating Christmas?
I love it. Christmas without Santa is not Christmas. Thank you.
No E at the end of Santa Claus.
We got to stop there.
Okay.
We'll pick up. Remember where you stopped?
All right.
We left off. Thank you all. I got to squeeze in some more calls here. Alex from Florida is on the air. Alec with a C. Welcome to the show. You're on the air.
Hey, Jesse. How's it going?
All is well, sir.
Yeah, I just wanted to say I've been listening to the show for probably a year now. At first, like most people, kind of thought you were crazy, but...
Crazy is the best about.
Yeah. Exactly. But yeah, no, eventually I was like, well, I'm miserable anyways. I might as well try this stuff out. And yeah, you're pretty much right about everything somehow. But so I just wanted to say thank you. I did the forgiving parents thing. So I've been doing the silent prayer for forever now. But yeah, I kind of have a question for you though. I was listening to one of your old church episodes, and it was like keep your eyes on yourself, and I realized that I'm still a hypocrite, and I was wondering, kind of some advice. Like, for example, I guess I kind of still have an ego. Like, I like going to the gym and, like, lifting weights. And, you know, just like a simple example is I'll just see, like, a fat person at the gym and be like, oh, I'm better than them. And I guess I'm just wondering, I don't, like, identify. I just realize that I think it, and I'm like, oh, what's wrong with me? Why do I think that? I guess I'm wondering just how I let that die. Like, I still am having all these messed up thoughts.
The way you let it die is just by seeing it, seeing those thoughts. That's all you need to do is just a thought. And when you see it, don't call it you. Don't argue with it. Don't give it a name. Just watch it, knowing that it's not you. And they will be taken away from you by the light of God, who is allowing you to see it, because they're not you at all. So when you see a fat person at the gym and the first thought comes, oh, look at that fat person, I'm better, right? Let that pass. Don't identify. Don't overreact, and you'll be free of it.
Okay. All right, that makes sense. And then, like, another thing, I think you were kind of talking about this earlier, which, yeah, it always goes back to you're so right. Like, everyone's just going through the same stuff.
Yes.
But, like, you know, a lot of, like, my family and friends now kind of, since I think this way, they think I'm crazy. Like, how I used to think that
Beautiful.
you were crazy.
Beautiful.
And, yeah, yeah, you know, I try and help them out with some things, but I don't know, like, they just don't seem to, like, listen, and, like, they just don't change or anything, and I don't know how to help people, and it kind of, that's another thing, I try not to identify, but, like, especially my family, like, it does, like, make me sad, because they're all struggling and all stuff like that, and I guess I don't really know what to do.
Nothing at all. Who are you to feel sad for them? You have no right to feel sad for them. God did not feel sad for you when you thought I was crazy and you were blind and did not see. You leave them in their hell, you wish them well in your heart, and you work on you. You cannot impose the
There's
truth.
nothing I can really do.
There's nothing you can do. Zero. And stop playing God, thinking and trying to do something about someone else. You wish them well and you move on with your life and work on you.
Yeah, man, I guess
you don't owe them anything, nor is there anything you can do to help them.
Yeah, I guess that's kind of just solves all my issue. I guess I still, that's what I realize I'm a hypocrite. I'm like, man, I still have this ego. I'm trying to.
And stop calling yourself a hypocrite. Don't take. Hey, Alex.
Still a mess sometimes.
Alex.
Yeah.
Stop calling yourself a hypocrite. All you're doing is taking on another false identity. Add no more names to yourself. Just be. Don't take on any more identities. Stop doing that.
Okay.
Because
I think
it's not you that's judging. It's the false you.
Yeah, that's been. I feel like getting like that. I feel like that's the hardest part. I don't know if you felt that way.
It's only hard because you still think it's you and it's not.
Yeah.
So stop identifying with it. Stop calling it you. You're not your thoughts and you're not the feelings.
Okay. Yeah, no, that makes sense. I appreciate it. I'll stick with it, and still sometimes getting caught in those weird thoughts. I guess identifying with it, but it's just, it's a trap. I see what you're saying.
Relax and let them pass. It's just a thought. It's not you. All right.
Okay. All right. Thanks, Jesse.
All right, buddy. Call me again.
All right. Sounds good.
All right. Let me go to Bianca out of Texas. Bianca, welcome to the show. You're on the air.
Hi, Jesse.
Hey, Bianca.
How are you? Can you hear me?
Loud and clear. But we only have about a minute or two, maybe 2 minutes. Go ahead.
Oh, okay. Well, really quick. I don't know how to. If my husband continues to, is it wrong for my husband to, I guess, use his parents as a way to get financial gain, like to help us kind of out of a rough spot. And even though he's forgiven them, is it like, how do I, gosh, there's so much, I don't know, I kind of feel kind of,
Bianca, can you call me tomorrow and I'll take your call first?
yeah, sure, definitely.
Okay, just remind the screener when you call in that I told you to call back today and I'll take your call because we're totally out of time and it sounds like you have a very interesting question for me.
Okay, yes.
All right.
Thank you, Jesse.
Okay, call me tomorrow and we'll take your call as soon as you call in.
I will, thank you.
Okay. Amazing. Listen, folks, get on that street. I'm telling you, everybody have the same problem. Maybe a different situation, but it's the same. There's not one in this earth that don't have the same problem. And if they tell you they don't, they're lying to you. All right? So get on that straight and narrow and work on you. You, only you, can work on you. And you can't bring anyone along with you. Do the silent prayer. Forgive your mother. Forgive your father. And God will forgive you and change your nature. You change your heart first, and then he changes the nature, which is of the devil and not your own. And he will give you his nature, which won't be yours, but it'll be his, but it'll be yours. I am out of time. The Hake Report is coming up now. And to the callers, call me back again. I am out of time. That was very interesting. That word, Rizz. Was it Rizz? I've never heard Rizz until today. I know some of you guys want to talk about it. Call me back on it. I am so out of time. The Hake Report is coming up now. The Hake Report at 12 noon. The American Anchor Baby. Merry Christmas. I'll be back tomorrow if the Lord is willing and the creek don't rise.
Look, stand up, we got fighting to do. We gotta show him who boss. He put a Viking in you, he put that lightning in you, igniting the truth. But you beg and blame and lie and hate and never wanna stand for the truth. So what you planning to do? You understand in the lose. You better go talk to your mama, better stop at the drama, better drop all the trauma. Boy, you better stand up and up. Put your hand up and hut. Cause if we don't, then we lose, and then we gotta hear the fake news. Whoa. So you get something went wrong, but face the truth about yourself and just seek first God's kingdom, cause you must know that so you get something went wrong, but seek first God's kingdom, cause I know we can find a way. I know we can find a way. I know we can.
So, here's what I recommend. I invite you to download my silent prayer, and I want you to start doing it. You just download it, get the points of how to do it, and then after a while, you just do it on your own. It's going to point you in the right direction that your life will be returned to you from God. He will give you your life back because anyone and all people who has anger, they're not themselves. You are the person that you are angry at. That's why it's so important to get to know yourself so that you can see who you're angry at. And if you're doing the hooping and hollering prayers and things like that, some people get up, oh, praise the Lord, hoop and holler, bless my mama, bless my daddy. Continue to do it. Do both. You will see if you want to stay with the hooping and hollering or do you want to be still and know God. So my gift to you, no charge, at rebuildingtheman.com/church. Anytime you have situations happening in your life, always be still. Don't overreact. Most of the people that I know, they say, "Oh, I know Jesus. I love Jesus. I'm an observer." And as soon as something don't go their way, they get mad. I'm like, what the? If you overreact, folks, remember to do that. Don't overreact. And when you get mad, it's your problem. It ain't your wife's problem, your husband's problem, your neighbor, your friend, your preacher, your teacher. It's your problem. Why you think you tick? It didn't go your way or the way you think it should go. Don't have a way you think it should go. Let life just happen. Thoughts make you think that life should go the way you want it to go. And if it doesn't, if someone don't do or say or act the way you think they should act, you hate them. And then you blame them for being mad. It's the darndest thing I ever seen. But it's amazing to see it. So relax.